But the big blow was delivered by Todd Pratt, ending the D-backs' dreams. They look for revenge next. An extremely cold night in New York. It's the opening game of this three-game weekend series at Shea Stadium between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the New York Mets. And a pleasant good evening to you, as always, alongside Rod Allen. I'm Tom Brenneman. Bob Brenly attending his daughter Lacey's graduation. Congratulations to her, just like your son Rod Jr. just graduated from Desert Vista High. It's great to have you with us on D-backs Play-In Baseball right here on Fox. And, you know, Rod, you look at this series. And do you think there's additional motivation for the Diamondbacks or the Mets, seeing as what happened last year during the playoffs?
No, Tom, I really don't think so. Right now, the Mets really not playing good baseball. Just one game over 500. The Diamondbacks really not playing great baseball right now. They dropped a couple of games in Montreal, lost that last game to San Diego. So I think you got two teams right now just trying to really find themselves.
You know, you talked to the Mets, and we had a chance to speak with Bobby Valentine, a number of their players before the game. It's been a team that's been very inconsistent. They pitch well at times, then they don't hit. Or they hit well at times and don't pitch.
Well, it's a different team. Ricky Henderson, of course, not here. Roger Cedeno not here. John Olerud gone. I think you take those three guys out of this Mets lineup, and you've got a different team. I think what you've got right now, you've got a team that's trying to really find out exactly how all these pieces fall into place.
Well, the Mets trying to get their act together, and we look ahead to the rest of the series. The matchup tonight features Todd Stottlemyre against Bobby Jones. Just off the disabled list prior to the game here tonight is Jones. Omar Dahl will oppose Mike Hampton tomorrow. They're skipping over Glendon Rush. And then the series finale should be a good one. Randy Johnson against Rick Reed. And it seems like, Rod, that tonight really a key game in this series, because I'm sure the Mets feel like Hampton gives them a real good chance to win tomorrow, and obviously the Diamondbacks like their chances with the unit on Sunday.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, it's a big game for Stottlemyre, but he's been outstanding his last three starts. I think his earned run average is under 3. This guy has really competed. His fastball is very good, sharp, using both sides of the plate. His split-fingered fastball, a lot of confidence in that pitch. And you're right. I think if the Diamondbacks can win this game, they feel pretty good about themselves the rest of the weekend.
All right, this is the final leg of this three-city journey. The Diamondbacks and the Mets. Bobby Valentine, Buck Showalter squaring off each of the next 3 days, and some of the game's great stars locking up. We'll be right back. Fox Sports Net presents Diamondbacks Baseball, brought to you by Pizza Hut. Take your toppings to the edge with the Edge Pizza from Pizza Hut. By Miller Lite. Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher when you need a little something. And by your Arizona Dodge dealers. We mentioned it is extremely cold here in New York tonight. In fact, a great deal of rain throughout the entire morning, early part of the day. They had terrible thunderstorms here in New York last night. And we very much wondered, Rod, whether this game would ever get underway here tonight. And it looks like we're going to do just that on time. While we have a moment, let's take a look at the Checker Auto Parts starting lineup. First for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Tony Womack at short, Jay Bell at second, Luis Gonzalez in left. Ruby Elderazo at first, Steve Finley in center, Travis Lee in right. A ladder third of Damian Miller, Lenny Harrison out at third base. 7-1 right-hander Todd Stottlemyre is on the mound. Buck Showalter exchanging lineup cards with the right-hand man of Bobby Valentine, one of his coaches, John Stearns. Bobby Valentine's Mets only one game over 500. Huge expectations here in New York for this season, and so far they haven't lived up to them. John Nunley leads off, and he's in center field. Derek Bell came over from the Astros. He's in right. Edgardo Alfonso at second. Mike Piazza catching. Robin Ventura at third. Todd Zeile, the new first baseman, replacing John Olerud. Mark Johnson to start in left field. Ray Ordonez at short. And Bobby Jones is on the mound. When we come back, we'll have the first pitch from Shea Stadium in New York. The Diamondbacks and Todd Stottlemyre to battle Bobby Jones and the Mets. Welcome back to Shea Stadium in New York. Diamondbacks winding down this 9-game road trip. And let's take a look at the Gatorade starting pitcher, the right-hander Bobby Jones.
Well, Bobby Jones making his first start since coming off the disabled list with a right strained calf. Here's a guy that control pitcher for the most part. You don't expect him to be on top of his game. Takes control pitches a little bit longer to get in the sync once spring training's gotten over with.
AM/PM New York defense behind him. It's been a great deal of shuffling around in this New York Mets outfield. Tonight they go with Johnson and Nunley left and center. Derek Bell the only mainstay in right. Terrific infield of Ventura, Ordonez, Alfonso, and now Zeal, with a battery of Jones and Mike Piazza. Ordonez this season has already committed more errors than he did all of last year, and on top of that, Ordonez not swinging the bat well at all.
Well, as a matter of fact, he won 100 games last season without committing an error. I mean, this guy's a human highlight film. I mean, this guy always comes to play, at least from a defensive standpoint, but last year offensively really stepped up for the New York Mets as well.
So we're set to go here in the opening game of this series. Tony Womack to lead things off. And he brings with him tonight a 14-game hitting streak, during which he has batted .354. Overall, Womack on the year, a .286 hitter, 4 home runs already, 15 knocked in. He looks at his strike, and we're underway at Shea. Very small crowd, the temperature at 48, but the wind chill mixed in, and there's a lot of wind blowing in from right center field. And now it's shifted in from left center a bit. Little flare, and that'll fall over Ordonez's head. So the hitting streak for Womack now at 15 games.
The second baseman, number 33, Jay Bell.
Starting to say the wind chill feels like about 30.
Oh, it's pretty cold here. It's football weather.
Oh, yeah.
As a matter of fact. See the flags blowing in from straightaway center field.
And you get a look at a very small crowd on hand here tonight. They got lots happening here in New York for the sports fans. Of course, the New York Knicks are taking on the Miami Heat. The Knicks on the brink of elimination in that series, down 3-2. And the New York Yankees are on TV here in the area as well later tonight against the Cleveland Indians. Good matchup there.
You know, Tony Womack has not run a lot this season, only 9 attempts. He's been successful 5 times, but you know, I expect Tony Womack to try to get down to second base, try to get a run on the board early here for the Diamondbacks.
There he goes on the very first pitch. Piazza's throw, a 2-hopper down to second base. He must have lost the grip on that ball. And Womack easily getting his 6th stolen base of the year.
Well, let's hope he lost the grip on that ball, because that was a terrible throw down to second base. This ball bounced right on the other side of the mound. Just a tremendous jump by Tony Womack. Bobby Jones, not a good move, and you know, Tony probably could have went in standing up.
Womack only had 1 stolen base since April the 20th until last night. He picked up his 5th of the year, and here tonight, after a single to begin the game, he gets number 6. Bell showing a bunt, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, if you watch the pitchers out on the mound, especially with Tony Womack on first base, the guys that like to utilize that slide step, they get the ball to home plate rather quickly, which makes it almost impossible for a guy like Tony Womack to steal a base, and he's got tremendously quick feet.
Bobby Jones, a compensation pick between the 1st and 2nd rounds going back to June of 1991. They've always felt he was going to be a great major league pitcher. He, at best, is a little better than average. He's had a couple of very good years. 12-7 in 94, a 12-game winner in 96. His best season came in 97 when he won 15. But he's been injured by and large the last couple of years. And the calf injury this year, no different. Only his 4th start of the season. And a 2-1. Breaking ball down and away.
Well, Bobby Jones, quite the control pitcher, used a couple of different fastballs, likes to run in, one in on the right-handers, and a slow breaking ball, then another breaking ball that he will throw up there a little sharper, like that last one to Jay Bell. Jay Bell has himself in a pretty good hitter's count right here, 3 balls, 1 strike. He'll try to hit something in the right field to get Womack in from home.
Well, Bell will also take a walk. He is 4th in the National League in that department. His 34th base on balls drawn already this season. So the Diamondbacks with 2 on and nobody out, and here comes Luis Gonzalez.
Well, Jay Bell, just a great eye at the plate. Here's a guy that doesn't give at-bats away. I mean, that's big. I mean, you talk to the hitting coaches around Major League Baseball, and they say, you know, the guys that don't give the at-bats away, the guys that make the pitchers work, those are the guys that are going to have good numbers at the end of the season. And Jay Bell definitely had a career year last year for the Diamondbacks.
Here's Gonzalez hitting at .273, 9 home runs, 26 runs batted in. Mets infield figuring Gonzalez won't bunt, although we've seen him drop a pair of beautiful sacrifices already this season, including a big one last night. Ball 1 down and in.
Well, Luis Gonzalez can definitely handle the bat. And last night against the left-hander, a breaking ball on the outside part of the plate, Gonzo looked like he's been doing that his entire career. Picture-perfect bunt down the third baseline.
1-0 from Jones is at the bell to strike. Gonzalez thought that was a little bit high.
I'd have to agree with Luis. That fastball above the belt buckle. Most umpires will not give that strike to the pitcher.
It's 1-2 on Gonzalez. You know, you look back on that division series last year, and Rod, you and I were talking prior to the game as you get a look at the umpires tonight. Ron Kulpa calling the balls and strikes. Angel Hernandez, Tim Timmons, and Marty Foster rounding out the rest of the crew. The Diamondbacks in every facet of the game were outplayed by the New York Mets. I mean, it was no surprise the Mets, when you look at the numbers, won that series 3 games to 1. The Diamondbacks as a team hit .206. And their earned run average was almost 5.5. The Mets out-hit them, they out-pitched them, they played better defense, and they got on base a lot more as that one is inside 2-2.
You know, unfortunately for the Diamondbacks, I think they picked that series to play their worst baseball the second half of the season. And the Mets coming off an incredible high, of course, needing to win all 3 of their final games against the Pittsburgh Pirates. They won those games. They forced the 1-game playoff against Cincinnati. They won that one. And when they came into Bank One Ballpark, riding an emotional high.
High fly ball into right center field. Coming in is Derek Bell, and Womack will stay put. 1 away in the inning.
You get an idea right there of just how hard the wind is blowing in. Gonzo did not hit that ball particularly hard in the right field, but you know, Derek Bell had to race in about 20 steps to catch that ball. I mean, the wind really knocked it down. You want to keep the ball on the ground or on the line tonight.
Two on, 1 away, and now Rubiel Durazo, the batter. Durazo at .297, 6 home runs and 21 batted in. Went 1 for 2 with a double and an RBI last night. Been scuffling a little bit of late. Pitch on the way, and it's on the outside corner, a strike.
But a guy like Durazo does not scuffle for long. This guy's got a short, quick, compact stroke. Very seldom do you see him swing at balls out of the strike zone. Always gets himself in good hitters counts. This guy knows how to handle the bat.
Jones paying a lot of attention to Womack dancing around out there at second base. Womack started the inning with a single, stole second, Bell walked, and now Gonzalez a fly ball to right. 2 on, 1 out, and a 0-1 pitch to Durazo from Bobby Jones on the way. I guess a little bit inside and low. Jones wanted the call, didn't get it, and already some controversy about the strike zone early on in the game here tonight.
You know, Bobby Jones paying a little bit too much attention to Tony Womack, but rightfully so. Here's a guy that's led the National League in stolen bases the last 3 years, but you don't expect him to be running with a left-hander up your number 4 hitter in Durazo.
Breaking ball in, 2-1.
And if Tony Womack was to take off from second to third, Jay Bell should try to get a good jump, because more than likely Piazza would throw the ball down to second base, realizing that he probably would not get Womack at third.
Two and one on a Rubiel Durazo. And it's rolled foul up the first base line to even a count. Durazo broke his bat. He'll go get a new piece of lumber.
A pretty good breaking ball right there, down and into Durazo. Ruby didn't get the bat head out. And you'll see some players tonight shaking their hands. There'll be some B's, guys hitting balls off the end of the bat, guys getting jammed. They'll step out of the batter's box momentarily to regroup and try to get the feeling back in their hands.
Two and two, and another bluff throw back to second base. The Mets very much like using that play where they have Ordonez sneak in behind the runner. They haven't tried it just yet in this, but don't be surprised if we see it before the night is through. Here's a 2-2. And it's strike three called on Durazo. He didn't think so. First strikeout of the game by Bobby Jones. 2 down in the inning.
The center fielder, number 12.
What's the last pitch Durazo was looking for from Bobby Jones? A fastball on the inner half of the plate. I mean, he paints with this pitch. It gets enough of the plate, but Ruby fooled on that pitch. Very seldom do you see Durazo take a fastball that's on the inner half of the plate unless he's looking for a breaking ball. And more often than not, a guy like Jones is going to give you a breaking ball when he gets ahead of you.
Steve Finley settles in. 323 hitter, 15 home runs and 37 runs batted in. Finley broke the tie in the ninth inning with a sac fly. A game of Diamondbacks were able to give up a 6-2 lead in and then score 2 runs in the ninth inning to beat Montreal by a pair, their lone win in the series. Womack and Bell at second and first, 2 down. And now 2-0 to Finley.
Well, Finley's got himself in a good hitter's count right here. There's 2 outs. Got to be looking for that fastball inside, but you know, a guy like Jones knows exactly what Steve is looking for. More than likely, he would try to stay away from him or try to trick him with a breaking ball. He has a lot of confidence in his off-speed pitches.
Little roller down to Todd Zeile, and that'll end the inning. So Jones in trouble with the first 2 on and nobody out, but retires Gonzo, Durazo, Finley, no score. Gonzalez, Finley, and Lee left, center, and right. Lenny Harris, a former Met, is at third base. Tony Womack at short. Jay Bell at second. Durazo at first with a battery of Stottlemyre and Damian Miller. Of course, Stottlemyre got the lone victory for the Diamondbacks during the division series against the Mets. That was game 2, you may remember. Stottlemyre went out and pitched 6 2/3 innings, allowed 4 hits. He did walk 5. He was in a lot of trouble. But, man, he stepped up big time and pitched when he had to get guys out.
And the Diamondbacks really needed him to step up. And, you know, a lot of credit to Buck Showalter for giving Stottlemyre the ball. He really hadn't pitched well up until that point because he had gone down with that rotator cuff injury. But, you know, Buck Showalter gave him the ball in game 2, and he was very, very good.
John Nunley getting to start tonight in center field. And Nunley looks at a strike. Nunley at 2-11 in limited playing time. A pair of home runs, 6 knocked in. Been a revolving door in the Mets outfield with the exception of right field, where Derek Bell is off to a great start. 0-2 to Nunley. They've used Melvin Moore. Of course, they had Ricky Henderson. He was released earlier this week. Now he's in Seattle. Great debate that Bobby Valentine wants to give Benny Agbayani more time. His boss, Steve Phillips, says Nunley has gone on strikes. Would like to see their former #1 pick, Jay Payton, get more playing time. Payton has been playing the better part of 2.5 weeks, and now he is on the bench.
Well, if you would want to look at this entire Mets team and sum it up, basically, I mean, their outfield is probably the weakest part of the ball club, other than Derek Bell in right field, who got off to a marvelous start this season. He slowed down a little bit, but, you know, you need some guys out there that can catch the ball. You need some guys that can run it down. You need some speed. I mean, they don't have that right now in their outfield.
saw Agbayani there on the left, Jay Payton sitting on the right. As Derek Bell chops one foul wide of third, he's down a strike. Bell hitting at 356, 7 home runs, 22 knocked in.
Well, this guy comes to play every single night. A lot of people thought him coming over from Houston, he was just a throw-in to the Mike Hampton deal, but Derek has taken that personal, and he says, hey, I can play too. And I'm going to show some people that I can play the game of baseball. Tough year last year in Houston.
Bell only hit .236 last season after hitting .314 the season before. In '98, he knocked in 108 runs. Last year, a little more than half that. One and two.
Well, Stott's got that good breaking ball working once again tonight. A lot of confidence in his off-speed pitches as of late, and you really can't call them off-speed pitches. It's a slider, it's a hard slider, and also a hard forkball. For the most part, Todd really doesn't throw anything soft.
1-2 on Derek Bell. And strike three called. 7 pitches thrown in the game by Stottlemyre. 6 have gone for strikes. And he has fanned the first 2 batters of the game.
Well, Stott picking up right where he left off in his last start. I mean, this fastball on the outer half of the plate, just painted on the outer half of the plate. Outstanding pitch right there. All Derek Bell can do is look at that pitch and walk back to the dugout. As a hitter, you try to just foul it off because you know you can't hit it anywhere with authority, but it froze him, and he could not pull the trigger.
2 down for Edgardo Alfonso. .343 hitter, 5 home runs, 27 batted in, and he has picked up where he left off last year in the postseason against the Diamondbacks. A base hit into left field.
Well, Alfonso can just play the game of baseball. This guy 2 years ago was the third baseman for the New York Mets, but when they signed Robin Ventura in the free agent contract, moved him over to second base, and he was brilliant over there as well. Had it not been for the spectacular play of Pokey Reese in Cincinnati, he probably would have won a Gold Glove last season.
Now the amazing Mike Piazza. .366 a batting average, 10 home runs, 28 batted in. And Piazza looks at ball one. Piazza, of course, a former Dodger Rookie of the Year in '93. And if he continues to catch and continues to hit, he will shatter every record ever made as far as offensive numbers are concerned for a catcher in the history of Major League Baseball. A career .328 batter coming into this season. Already better than 250 home runs. He's knocked in close to 800 runs.
You know, the batting average is the one thing that amazes you about a guy like Piazza. Tremendous power. You talked about all the home runs. But the hand-eye coordination, the ability to put the ball in play when runners are in scoring position for a number 4 hitter. I'm talking about just driving the run in with a single.
On the outside corner, a strike to Piazza, 2-1.
Get a look at the profile of Mike Piazza. .362 in 1997. Highest batting average for a catcher. Over 300 every season.
Rolls that one foul, 2-2. I mean, he is so far ahead of the numbers thrown up by guys like Johnny Bench and Yogi Berra and Roy Campanella and right on down the line. Piazza only 31 years old. He grew up in Norristown, Pennsylvania, just outside of Philadelphia, where he was the All-Star Game MVP in that city 3 years ago. 2-2, runner going. And Piazza swing and a miss, and Stottlemyre fans aside. 1 hit, 1 left, end of 1, no score. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Again, the Diamondbacks, after this weekend series in New York, return home beginning on Tuesday. The Pirates, the Brewers, and the Cardinals are coming in. So make sure to get tickets. Bank One Ballpark ticket office phone number 888-334-8323. And we look forward to seeing you at the Bob beginning Tuesday night. Travis Lee, a check swing and a foul ball. Travis, a good game last night.
Well, good to see Travis driving some runs with 2 outs. Of course, Travis Lee did not have a great season a year ago for the Diamondbacks, but still very, very talented. And once this guy starts to swing the bat with the confidence that he did in 1998, no doubt he'll put up some pretty good numbers.
But Ron, the question becomes, how long do you wait for him to do it? The Diamondbacks sat down, their entire staff, including manager Buck Showalter, talking with Travis Lee before the game yesterday. He came up with a couple of big hits, both of them with 2 outs, knocked in 3 runs, and a soft base hit into right center field there, his first at bat here tonight.
You know, I think with a guy like Travis, I mean, so much
The
potential.
catcher, number 26, Damian Miller.
You've got to give him every opportunity to succeed. I don't know, what options the Diamondbacks would have, whether they would like to trade a guy like Travis or send him down to the minor leagues. But, I know Buck Showalter is probably thinking to himself, I mean, this guy gets back to where he was in 1998, where he hit 22 home runs and drove in better than 70 runs. He'd like to see him do that in a Diamondback uniform opposed to some other uniform. And, I think that's just the scratch of the surface for Travis Lee with all the ability that he has.
Ball 1 low and away to Damian Miller. Miller at 281, swinging the bat well. 4 home runs, 13 runs batted in. Had the big grand slam on the last homestand to beat the Dodgers. Part of the 3-game sweep. That one fouled back out of play. The Dodgers begin play tonight 5 behind the Diamondbacks in the National League West. Colorado, a 500 team, 7 back. And the Giants, so hot a week ago, have lost 6 consecutive games.
Well, that's one thing for the Giants. When the Diamondbacks lose, they lose. When they're winning, the Diamondbacks are winning, so they can't gain any ground. Back to that conversation about Travis for just a moment. I sort of compare him to a Sean Green. Of course, Sean Green has gone on to stardom in Los Angeles after, just 2 stellar years in Toronto before being traded over there.
Runner goes, pitch taken outside. Piazza's throw to second is not in time and gives Travis Lee his 3rd stolen base of the year. So clearly, part of the Diamondbacks game plan here tonight, run against a combination of Jones and Piazza.
And I think more so on Jones. Jones not very quick to home plate. Travis just a tremendous jump off first base. By the time Piazza got this ball in his glove, Travis well on his way, head first sliding down into second. A nice attempt down there by Ordonez, but back to Sean Green for just a moment. His first 5 years in the big leagues really did not do anything, and it took guys like Roger Clemens and Paul Molitor and Jose Canseco, some of the guys that played up in Toronto, as Damian fouls one off to the right side, to really get this kid to realize, you've got some tremendous ability. All you need to do is go out and play. But the thing that I compare them to is the way that Green plays the game. He makes the game look easy. And I think sometimes when guys make the game look easy, like a Green or a Travis Lee and John Oru, for instance, who played here, when they're not doing well, people can misinterpret that as guys not giving their all.
Yeah, the guy that comes to mind for a lot of the basketball fans, perhaps, in the Valley, where they've said that about for years, is Sam Perkins. He's had a great NBA career. But everything came so easy for him, it looked like he was lackadaisical at some time, and that wasn't the case.
Nicknamed Sleepy.
That's exactly right. 3-2 to count on Miller. And fouled back out of play.
Even though Damian has 2 strikes on him, he is still trying to hit the ball to the right side of the diamond. He's trying to get Travis Lee home, or at the very least trying to get Travis Lee over to third base with only 1 out.
No score in the ball game. Travis Lee has started the 2nd inning with a single in the right center, stole second base. So he's here with nobody out. Still 3-2 on Damian Miller. 3-2 pitch. And again fouled off, and again trying to push it to the right side.
Been a pretty good at bat right here by Damian. He's got some pretty good pitches to hit, no doubt. Had he just been trying to drive the ball somewhere, he probably would have been able to accomplish that by now. But again, Damian, unselfish player, trying to do what's best for the team.
Three-two pitch. And it's ball 4, low and away, his 2nd consecutive inning. The Diamondbacks have put the first 2 runners on. They didn't score in the first.
The third baseman,
we'll
number
see about the
29,
second.
Lenny Harris.
And you wouldn't expect Lenny Harris to be bunting in this situation, hitting 8th in the lineup with the pitcher on deck. But one thing that Lenny Harris is pretty good at, he's good at driving the ball into those holes over there. And right now, first base, Todd Zeile playing in rather close, anticipating a bunt, and so is Robin Ventura. But I'd be very surprised if Harris is bunting in this situation.
Lenny at 182, a home run and 13 batted in, and looks at a fastball in the inside corner to strike. Harris spent a little more than a year here with the Mets, and in his career a .299 hitter here at Shea Stadium.
Well, now Ventura going to go in and have a conversation with Jones, and probably tell him that I don't think that he's going to bunt. Ventura at third, and Zeile over at first, still drawn in a couple of steps in front of the bag.
And 1 to Lenny Harris. They charge, and Harris swings away and lifts a short fly ball into center field. A late break for Nunley. Now he recovers in time, makes a play, and everybody stays put.
The pitcher,
with a left-handed hitting
number 30,
duo of Fox and Harris, really having a tough time getting on base here over the last 2 weeks.
Well, they really are. I mean, here's a fastball right down the middle. And Lenny just pulls off the ball. I mean, that's something that he has been doing the last couple of weeks or so. Just not, driving the ball with authority the way that Lenny can do. I mean, here's a guy that spent, better than 10 years at the major league level. And in the last 5 years, basically just a pinch hitter. And you just don't do that at the big league level if you're not a good hitter.
Well, now we'll see what Stottlemyre is up to. Mets are going to talk it over defensively again, and at least before he steps in the batter's box. Zeile 2 steps on the infield grass at first, and Ventura, you get a look, pulled in on the grass at third.
Well, as hot as Tony Womack is right now, you expect the bunt right here and give Tony perhaps the opportunity to drive in a run with 2 outs.
Stottlemyre squares and pulls the bat away. The pitch is high, ball 1.
But Buck Showalter has a lot of confidence in some of the pitchers, some of the guys that can handle the bat. Stottlemyre can handle the bat every now and then. If the corner infielders charge a little harder than the hitter thinks that they should be charging, he gives them the ability to swing the bat.
Pair of sacrifices this season for Stottlemyre. He has 2 hits in 16 at-bats, and one of those 2 hits a home run. Squares, pulls the bat back as if to take a swing, and it's ball 2 down and in.
Another play right there where the Mets were trying to disguise the wheel play. Ventura faked like he was going to come in, and Zeile did the same thing from the first base position, and the shortstop Ordonez took 3 or 4 hard steps toward third base. And a lot of managers, opposing managers, the guys that are on defense in situations like this, they want the pitcher to swing the bat.
Stottlemyre had a converse with Brian Butterfield. Makes you wonder if the sign was missed a moment ago, because now Stottlemyre is trying to bunt it and fouls it off.
I think what Butterfield was talking to Stottlemyre about was the very fact that, they really didn't have that wheel play on. They were just disguising it. Then go ahead and bunt the ball. Go ahead and do your job. If you get the good bunt down, we'll get the runners in the scoring position.
Two on, 1 out. No score here in the top half of the second inning, and Todd Stottlemyre again shortens up. Now he's going to swing away. Swings and misses, and they pull off a double steal. A delayed steal, it looked like, by the Diamondbacks. At least slow to get started was Lee initially, and all of a sudden Miller came charging in behind him, and Lee took off for third and makes it without a throw.
Well, you see Travis taking off on the pitch to home plate. I think what he wanted to see was whether the shortstop Ordonez was going to continue to run all the way to third base to cover for Robin Ventura, who had came in to, just in case Stottlemyre bunted. Ordonez stopped, and Travis Lee just kept going.
2-2 now to Stottlemyre. He won't be bunting here, and now the pitch on the way, and a ground ball through the left side into left field, a base hit. Lee will score. They're going to wave around Miller. He will score. Stottlemyre hung up between first and second base. Alfonso will tag him out, but not before Stottlemyre shoots one through the left side to give the Diamondbacks a 2-0 lead.
Well, very good at bat right there by Stottlemyre. The infield drawn in, just got enough of it to get that ball in the left field. The one thing that I don't think Stottlemyre really had to do as we get a look at him swinging the bat right here with 2 strikes, concentrating, putting the head down, just a picture-perfect swing right there. You know, Stottlemyre's a guy that can really handle the bat, but the one thing that he really did not have to do, see Miller on second, rounding third. There's no play at home plate. The one thing that Stottlemyre did not have to do in this situation was give himself up trying to get to second base. All he had to do was stay at first base because there was no way that Damian Miller was going to be thrown out at home.
So Stottlemyre helps himself with a 2-run single into left field. Diamondbacks lead by a pair in the second inning, and it's strike one to Tony Womack. That one fouled out of play. Only 3 teams in the National League have stolen fewer bases this year than the Diamondbacks. Yet here they are tonight with 4 stolen bases in the first inning and 2/3. Womack won in the first. Lee a pair here in the second. Miller one here in the second.
Well, as you said earlier, the combination of Bobby Jones and Mike Piazza.
On the ground to Ordonez. He throws on the first in time to end the inning. Diamondbacks score a pair, 2 hits. We go to the bottom of the second, 2-0 D-backs. Tonight, the all-new National Sports Report comes your way, the nightly show that gives you a complete wrap-up of all the day's news in sports. That's tonight at 10 and at 12 right here on Fox. Told you about the Knicks and the Heat squaring off in Miami. Pacers and the Sixers with Indiana. A 3-2 lead in that one, and all the coverage from the National Hockey League. You're a big hockey fan, aren't you, Rod?
No, not at all. I don't really like hockey. Too violent.
You're sure a rather laid-back, passive man when it comes to things like that, am I right?
Absolutely.
No doubt about it. Robin Ventura to lead things off here in the New York second inning. 2-0, Diamondbacks lead it. Hit off the end of the bat foul. Slow start for Ventura. Average down at 245. 9 home runs and 28 batted in.
You know, when Robin Ventura won the Gold Glove last year in the National League, I thought it was highway robbery. I mean, I thought Matt Williams would have and should have won the Gold Glove. But when you get a chance to watch this guy play and you look at his numbers during the course of a season, he's won 5 Gold Gloves, 4 in the American League, 1, of course, last year in the National League. This guy's pretty good.
Oh, he's real good. 0-2 the count on Robin Ventura. Taken outside. Ventura knocked in the go-ahead run in Wednesday's game against Colorado. They were rained out here yesterday. So now the Diamondbacks rolling in for the 3-game weekend series. And hopefully it's going to be a lot warmer tomorrow afternoon and Sunday than it is here tonight. But it is cold, let me tell you. Bye-bye. 2-2 to Ventura. And a fastball up and in. In 1999, the Diamondbacks and the Mets mirrored one another through the first half of the season. Diamondbacks, of course, once they got into the 4th of July weekend and right around the All-Star break, as that one is ball 4 to Ventura, found themselves at the break 3.5 games out of first.
Number 9.
Brought in Matt Mantine. The bullpen solidified itself after giving up a lot of games the first half of the season, and everything got turned around. For the Mets, they found themselves 6 games back, a .500 team in the middle of June. They had lost 9 consecutive games, including the first 2 games of a weekend series at Yankee Stadium. Then all of a sudden, the Mets fired 3 of their coaches. And not saying that had anything to do at all with, at that point, what was an underachieving team. But they just took off. They were 500 prior to that 9-game losing streak. And, of course, they wound up the year with 97 wins. 31 games over 500. Strike in there to Zeal, 0-2.
Well, you see it all the time in baseball where a manager will get fired or coaches replaced, and you know, the players will take it upon themselves and they'll feel like it's a direct result of the way that they've been playing. And, you know, everyone will look in the mirror and guys will just come out and perform. I don't know why it happens, but you see it all the time.
Well, whether you're going to see a game at Yankee Stadium or right here at Shea, there always seems to be so much chaos surrounding these two franchises. The fans, I mean, they know their baseball. They're hard on their local teams. They expect the best, will settle for nothing less. That one fouled out of play. And, of course, for the Yankees, not as much of that over the last 4 seasons. They've won 3 of the last 4 World Series, including the last 2. But, boy, it's a soap opera each and every day with the Mets. Most recently, the whole Rickey Henderson situation. Rumors that the manager and the general manager don't like one another. Both have contracts that run through the end of this year, and that's it. The owner, Fred Wilpon, said in the papers yesterday, holding a press conference talking about a new stadium, that both Steve Phillips, the GM, and Bobby Valentine, the manager, will last through this season. It's not exactly a ringing endorsement looking ahead to 2001.
Well, when you say that the manager and the general manager have their disagreements and do not see eye to eye, I think those are more than just rumors. I mean, we've been hearing about them for the last 3 years. Of course, Bobby Valentine made some comments early in the season about, you know, the Mets and, you know, some of their off-season moves. And the general manager, Steve Phillips, did not appreciate it.
Well, the bottom line is simply this. You look at the wins and losses for Bobby Valentine during his major league managerial career. Most of those seasons, of course, spent with the Texas Rangers. But the bottom line is simply this. There may be fans he irritates. He may irritate the general manager. He may irritate some of his own players. But the bottom line is the New York Mets had not been to the playoffs in 11 years until they reached the postseason in 1999. That's the bottom line.
And that would have been enough for most general managers to at least extend the contract of the manager beyond the next season.
Swing and a miss, throw down to second with Ventura running, and he's cut down. So a strike him out, throw him out, double play. Bases empty, 2 down in the inning.
The left fielder, number 5, Mark Johnson.
Well, Ventura not blessed with a lot of speed, and Bobby Valentine just hoping that the ball can be put in play to stay out of the double play. And just a nice throw down to second base that Jay Bell picks out of the dirt. A nice reaction right there by Damian Miller. That's what you got those infielders for.
Now Mark Johnson, former highly talented prospect with the Pirates and the White Sox. Drifted around ever since, and now he's with the Mets. He looks at ball 1. But to tie a ribbon around the whole Valentine situation, some of his critics would say, well, yeah, they made the playoffs, but they had one of the 5 highest team payrolls in all of baseball last year. They should have been in the playoffs. And the critic would come back and say, all right, they made the playoffs, but what happened after that? Well, they lost in the National League Championship Series. A very exciting National League Championship Series against the Braves, but nonetheless, they lost.
But it was a good series.
In this day and age, that's what you're judged by. Did you win it or did you not win it? You may have had a good regular season, but did you win it? 2-2 to Johnson.
So I guess you get the feeling that unless Bobby Valentine rallies these Mets troops, I mean, right now they're underachieving, no doubt. 21-20 is not a good record for, you know, the team that they've assembled. then basically he may be looking for occupation somewhere else come the end of the year.
Swing and a miss by Johnson. That'll end the inning. Stottlemyre has already fanned 5 in the game through the first 2 innings. We move to the third, 2-0 Diamondbacks. Welcome back to Shea Stadium. Diamondbacks with a 2-0 lead at the end of 2. You get a look at the standings in the National League West. Diamondbacks at 14 games over 500, 5 better than the Dodgers. And the Giants, we talked about losers of 6 in a row. They've closed the gap down to 4, and now they're 8 back. Giants will be playing in Milwaukee later tonight. The Dodgers underway in Florida. And the Marlins a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the third inning. Jay Bell walked his first time up. It takes down and away. He's ahead 2 balls, no strikes.
Jay Bell taking a fastball right down the middle. No doubt that's the pitch he's looking for, but you know, he's going to make that pitcher work out there.
Up and in, 3-1.
That Expos team last couple of days, do they take anything?
These guys can hit. Fouled off on a 3-1 pitch. I was talking with John Franco for a long time before the game today. The outstanding New York Mets left-hander out of their bullpen. Second on the all-time saves list, in fact. 60 behind the all-time leader, Lee Smith. And Franco was saying about that Montreal team, you just don't know how to pitch it. They have guys that can golf them off their shins and guys that can hit it above their head. That one's shot into right field by Bell. So for the third straight inning, the Diamondbacks have the leadoff man aboard via the base hit.
Left fielder, number 20, Luis Gonzalez.
Well, just a good at-bat right here by Jay Bell. Fastball up in the strike zone, out over the plate, doesn't try to pull it, keeps his head down, and just takes what the pitcher gives him. That's what Jay Bell has been so good at the last couple of seasons, not trying to force the issue. A little chilly down there for Jay Bell, too, blowing on his hands.
It's chilly for everybody here tonight, especially the boys from Arizona. They're not used to playing in this kind of weather. Diamondbacks already 4 stolen base attempts, and they've been successful in each of those attempts here in the first 2 innings tonight. Gonzalez flying out to short right field in the first inning.
Jay Bell has 3 steals on the year, 4 attempts.
Gonzalez looks at a strike.
Situation right here where a lot of the left-handed hitters in the Diamondbacks order with a runner on first base and that first baseman holding them on. A lot of room on the right side. They try to get something inside to drive it through that hole.
Got a breaking ball that time on the inner part of the plate and pops it up at the shortstop, Ordonez. 1 away in the inning.
The first baseman, number 44, Arubio Durazo.
Wouldn't be surprised if Jay Bell somehow tried to get himself down to second base, especially the way that Piazza has thrown the ball in the game tonight. And we talked about the combination of Jones and Piazza, not a good one. Jones really not giving Mike an opportunity to throw out the would-be base stealers.
Durazo looked at strike 3 his first time up, throw to first, sending Bell back to the bag. It is some kind of cold in here tonight, and I hate to keep bringing it up, but man, we haven't been in this kind of weather in a long time. We lucked out when we went to Chicago earlier this year, and Milwaukee for that matter. But that wind is howling, and it makes things not chilly, just downright cold.
You know, I was thinking to myself earlier, you know, pinch hitting for Bob Brinley on the television side. I was at Rod Jr.'s graduation last night. I guess Lacey, his daughter's graduating on Saturday. I wish it was flip-flopped. I was in Montreal. He was here in New York.
Yeah, he's laughing at us right now sitting at home. 1-0. Bell going on a pitch, and Durazo lifts a fly ball into right field. Derek Bell drifts back, makes a play. Bell retreats to first, 2 down in the inning.
Well, just as we expected, Jay Bell attempting to steal.
Number 12, Steve Finley.
Not a hit and run for the most part. Buck's not going to give the hit and run to guys like Durazo, and you know the ball just not traveling to right field. I mean, if you hit one out to right field tonight, you've hit it a ton.
Well, if that is the truth, if you hit it to center field, you've hit it 2 tons.
And then some.
Because it is blowing straight in from center field. Now Finley. He left 2-1 in the first inning with a ground ball at Zeal. Diamondbacks leading 2-0. We're in the top of the third. And Jones delivers a fastball in the outside corner, a called strike. The Diamondbacks returning home on Tuesday. They'll open a 3-game series against the Pirates, who lead the Cardinals in the third inning tonight, 4-1. Then the Milwaukee Brewers come into town. And after that, Mark McGwire, Jim Edmonds, and the St. Louis Cardinals for a big 4-game series. 0-1 pitch, Bell running, taken, a strike, throw to second. Ordonez takes it on the short hop and tags out Bell. What a play by Ordonez at short. First would-be base stealer cut down tonight. 1 hit, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the third, 2-0 D-backs. We're back in the Big Apple. Diamondbacks' first trip into Shea Stadium this season. And they lead 2-0 after 2.5. Todd Stottlemyre on top of his game early on tonight. He's ahead, strike 1, facing Ray Ordonez. Stottlemyre has struck out 5 of the first 7 batters he's faced. Only 1 ball has been put in play against Stottlemyre. That was a 2-out single to left field by Edgardo Alfonso. The only other man to reach was a leadoff walk in the second. 1-1 to Ordonez. Stottlemyre, in his first 5 starts of the season, did not strike out more than 4 batters in any one game. The last 3 starts, where we told you his ERA is under 1. As that one grounded down to Lenny Harris, he bobbles, recovers, has time, and the throw pulls Durazo off the bag. That'll be an error on Lenny Harris.
The pitcher, number 28, Bobby Jones.
You know, after Lenny misplays this ball, you like the way he takes his time and gets the ball over to first base. Had this throw been on the bag, Ordonez would have been out, but he pulls Durazo off the bag and given an error.
Leadoff man aboard here in the New York third inning. And now Bobby Jones squares to bunt and takes outside to finish that thought on Stottlemyre and the strikeouts of late. He struck out 5 on May the 2nd against Milwaukee, then 2 starts ago, 7 against San Diego, then his last start again against the Padres, struck out a season high 80.
Well, Stott's been pitching with a tremendous amount of confidence as of late. I mean, going right after the hitters, strike 1, which is very, very important for a guy like Stottlemyre. I mean, he doesn't possess the fastball that he can blow by major league hitters once he's fallen behind them. So it's very, very important for him to get ahead so he can expand the strike zone. That slider's been very good, down and away from the right-handed hitters, and a lot of confidence in that forkball.
Jones bunts it foul.
Of course, a lot of people really don't understand what it takes for Stottlemyre just to take the mound every 5th day. And this guy's workout regimen is unbelievable. The day after he starts, a very heavy workout, which starts with the legs up to the upper body. Then on days 2 and 3, works on the abdomen, the back, a lot of stretching, a lot of Job exercises. Then he takes a couple of days off before his next start.
Bunted foul, and that one unable for Damian Miller to get there. 1-2.
And not like the other Diamondback pitchers or players for that matter didn't have tremendous work ethic, because they wouldn't be at this major league level if they didn't. But to watch a guy like Stoudemire work every single day gives you a different perspective of just how important it is to keep your body in shape if you're going to have any kind of longevity at playing this game of baseball.
Jones, the 2-strike bunt rolls foul, and he's out of there on strike. So Jones unable to move the runner along with a bunt, and he is the 6th strikeout victim for Stoudemire tonight.
Number 26, John Nunnally.
Don't forget about Sunday Night Fights, Sunday at 8 o'clock on Fox Sports Net. 2 undefeated boxers will enter the ring. Only one leaves with the WBA Super Featherweight Championship. You won't want to miss that.
You know, Stoudemire's kind of got that workout like you've got.
Yeah, very similar. We're built a lot the same.
You've been on a mission all year long. How was the trip in Montreal?
Very, very good.
Did you get the 3 days in?
Better believe it. Breaking ball in there, a strike to John Nunnally.
Because you know, when I'm around, I see you. So, you know, I wasn't on that trip to Montreal, but you telling me 3 days in a row you got there?
3 in a row, big fella.
Very good.
For some reason, though, I work out all the time, and I don't look anything like Todd Stoudemire. There's a line drive, right field, a base hit. Advancing on to second is Ordonez, 2 aboard with 1 out here in the New York 3rd inning. Now the sluggers coming up. Bell, Alfonso, Piazza to follow.
Pretty good at bat right here. Breaks fastball down and away. Just drives the ball, serves the ball in the right field.
Nunnally at first. On at second is Ray Ordonez, and here's Derek Bell. He looked at a fastball, strike 3 in the 1st inning. See if Stoudemire can pitch through the air committed by Lenny Harris. There should be 2 out with only 1 on. Instead, 2 on and only 1 out. And here's ball 1 in the dirt to Derek Bell.
Well, Stoudemire can get Bell to hit the ball on the ground. Could definitely turn a double play, hit into 7. You see the National League leaders in hits. Bell right up there at the top. 58 hits.
There's that Jose Vidro. Man, can he hit.
Cool.
He was the one guy that we talked about with John Franco at length today. That one taken inside on the corner, a strike. He said, man, he said everybody talks about Guerrero on that team. And I told him, he said, what's Vidro hit now? About 320? I said, try just a little bit under 400.
Well, Philippe Alou, the manager, said that he expects Vidro to win a batting title before it's all said and done. And he said that before the season started.
Two on, 1 out. 1-1 pitch to Bell. Bounces up there, and a tremendous block on a pitch in the dirt by Damian Miller. Boy, we've gotten so spoiled watching Damian Miller and Kelly Stinnett do that regularly this season.
Diamondback pitchers have no problem throwing the ball down in the dirt because they know that those 2 guys will get down there and get dirty for them.
Diamondbacks with a 2-0 lead here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Ordonez and Nunnally aboard. Slider down and away, and now Bell has worked himself into a 3-1 count. Good hitters count for a very good hitter.
Well, expect Stoudemire in this situation to, throw a fastball in the outer half of the plate. Try to force Derek Bell and hitting the ball into the big part of the ballpark. Derek's going to be trying to drive something in the left field.
There's ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Well, we all recall the last time the bases were loaded for the man who comes to the plate now, Edgardo Alfonso. 9th inning, Bank One ballpark, game 1 of the division series. Randy Johnson lifted in favor of Bobby Chenard. And Alfonso hit what proved to be the game-winning grand slam to the seats and left.
Alfonso's first time up lined sharply in the left field on the first pitch that he saw from Stoudemire. This guy can hit. On the right side, Hits righties well. And, of course, he's going to hit lefties. Career with the bases loaded, .314 batting average.
This could be two. Womack's got it, steps on the bag, double play ends the inning. Why didn't that happen last October? Greg Schulte on his way over in a moment, and the 3-2-0 D-back.
Well, the Diamondbacks with a 2-0 lead here at Shea Stadium in New York. Todd Stottlemyre's pitched very well in this ballgame. Greg Schulte along with Rod Allen. Good to have you back. Number one, big double play to end that last inning.
Oh, no doubt about it. That's one thing that Stottlemyre's been able to do when he's gotten himself into trouble. He's been able to get out of it. A great pitch right there, gets out of the inning. It's a great play right there by Womack. He does it all by himself. Touching the bag, firing over to Durazo at first base.
Okay, we're set to go here in the fourth inning. Stottlemyre has struck out 6 in the ball game so far. And Bobby Jones, who couldn't get Stottlemyre in the second inning, Stott touched him for a 2-run single, giving the Diamondbacks the lead. So here we go into the Diamondback fourth. Finley, Lee, and Miller. Jones has struck out 1. He's walked 2, and the Diamondbacks in this ballgame have 4 hits against him. And there's a strike. Well, our SRP power performers, Rod, National League home run leaders. McGuire at the top of the list with those 3 last night, but Finns is number 2.
He's the only guy on that list you'd be surprised with, Steve Finley, but off to, the best of, one of the better years of his 12-year career.
Finns had 34 last year for the Diamondbacks. Knocked in over 100 runs. And he's off to a very, very solid start here in 2000. Trying to get on here to start the fourth inning. Left-handed batter at the plate. Well, when you're at Shea Stadium, you expect to hear jet noise. We hear plenty of that throughout the course of the night. Or day. Another strike from Bobby Jones, and it's 1-2.
All we hear is that wind whipping through Shea Stadium tonight. Greg, Jack Frost is out tonight.
Yeah, no doubt about that. They said 48 degrees at game time. It's dropped considerably since first pitch, and with the windshield factor, swing and miss by Finley. Jones with a second strikeout. I'd say we're probably somewhere around
the right fielder, number 16, Travis
mid
Lee.
to low 30s here tonight. Hard to believe. Back in Phoenix, it was 91 when we were starting this game. I'll take that any day. Now, Travis Lee's been hot the last couple of nights. You see the flag whipping in from center field here at Shea. Travis had a base hit, scored a run in the second inning. Travis with 2 steals. Stole second, stole third.
Well, Diamondbacks has 4 as a team tonight. They are running on the combination of Bobby Jones and Mike Piazza.
1 caught stealing. That was Jay Bell to end the third inning with Finley at the plate. Lee takes a pitch high. And it's 2-0.
It took an outstanding play by Ray Ordonez, the shortstop, to get Jay Bell, because that ball was in the dirt as well, thrown by Mike Piazza.
Strike. I like Ordonez's glove this year. Pretty bright, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, they make them all colors nowadays. Swing and a miss by Lee.
Well, if you can field as well as Ordonez, you can wear whatever color you want. And sometimes he doesn't even need the glove.
Yeah, he's made 6 errors already this year. It's hard to believe. Lee fouls one back and out of play. Crowd sparse here tonight. Weather, a lot to do with it. I'm sure a lot of fans are anxious to see what happens with the Knicks today. It's always interesting when you read the papers here in New York, and they were talking about the Knicks are in chaos right now. Trying to stir something up. Heat in town tonight. There's a pitch just missed to Travis Lee. The count's full 3-2. Well, there's always something going on in New York.
Always.
Travis trying to get on with one out here in the 4th inning. And he draws a walk. Good at bat there by Lee. That's the 3rd walk given up by Jones.
The catcher, number 26, Damian
For the
Miller.
most part, Jones has missed with a lot of his pitches up in the strike zone. And, you know, who knows, Greg, with the wind blowing in the way that it's blowing in from center field and right field, you know, he may just be throwing that fastball up there right around the belt and saying to the Diamondbacks hitters, here it is, hit it. And when a guy's not overpowering, a lot of times the hitters try to drive the ball out of the ballpark, which means they're going to elevate it. And the ball simply is not really going anywhere to right field or center field tonight.
Oh, it's going to take a bomb to get it out of here. A couple of guys who could do it, but, I mean, they are really going to have to tee it off. Ball went outside here to Damian Miller. Damian walked his first time up. He was on the end of the double steal with Travis Lee. And then scored on the base hit by Todd Stottlemyre. Jim Presley coaching at first again today. Dwayne Murphy with the bad knee that he injured in the dugout in Montreal. So Presley, hitting coach, coaching at first. There goes Lee. High drive, deep left field, but it's going to be caught by Johnson. And he's got it in front of the warning track. That wind cut that ball down. Lee back to first base for out number 2.
Number 29, Lenny Harris.
On a normal day, Damian Miller's got a 2-run home run. Hit this ball pretty well, but the way that that flag is blowing in, we just talked about it. Balls are not going to fly out of here. You got to get that line drive stroke. It's a 1-0 fastball right on the out half of the plate. Matter of fact, he hit that off the end just a little bit, but did hit it well.
I think Damian knew, too, that wind was going to cut that ball down just by his expression. And now there are 2 outs and Lenny Harris at the plate. Travis was running again, looking for his 3rd steal of the night. He had a pretty good jump off Bobby Jones. Lenny Harris flied to center his first at bat. Well, the Mets finally pitch out. Lee was not running. Good to have you back, partner.
It's good to be back.
I bet it is.
Bobby
Good to be anywhere, right, after everything you went through to get here.
Oh, my goodness. What an adventure.
A lot of travel problems. Midwest, East Coast, weather. Jones in turn and tossed to first. This is a lot different looking Mets ball club than what we saw last year. No Ricky Henderson. Roger Cedeno's gone. That's a lot of speed. Don Seal now the first baseman. John Olerud's up in Seattle. Mets a game over 500, but in 4th place in their division. Pop up to 3rd. And Ventura's got it, and the inning is over. A walk, a man left. Will go to the bottom of the 4th. Diamondbacks still leading the Mets 2-0. 2-0. Piazza will bat here, but in the first inning, he couldn't handle Todd Stottlemyre, right?
Well, Stottlemyre pitching Piazza very, very tough. Breaking ball up in the strike zone, then comes back down and away. Then a fastball on the outer half of the plate. Mike just looks at it, comes right back, fouls this one off, and then he comes right back with a high fastball, just blows it by Piazza, changes the eye level. Very, very tough to lay off that pitch.
3 innings for Stottlemyre. He has struck out 6. Piazza with 5 career hits against Todd. There's a fast or a breaking pitch up high, ball 1.
You know, the last time Piazza faced Stottlemyre, he struck him out a couple of times in that division series game 2 at Bank One Ballpark.
Piazza fouls one back out of play. You know, it's interesting. Stottlemyre's last 3 starts, his strikeouts have really picked up. He had 5 in that game at Milwaukee, then 7 against San Diego at Bank One Ballpark, and 8 last time out against the Padres in San Diego. There's a high foul backing out of play, and he's got 6 already tonight. What's been the difference, Rod? I mean, why all of a sudden has the strikeout pitch become important again for Stottlemyre?
Well, I think confidence first and foremost, Greg. I mean, he's reestablished his fastball. He's throwing it inside with a lot of confidence, and then once he's able to get ahead of the hitter, a good breaking ball, a good split-fingered fastball. But the key for Stottlemyre, as it is with most major league pitchers, you've got to get ahead.
And you touch on it right there, and that's what he's been so successful in doing, especially his last 4 times out. And he strikes out Piazza again. He kept it away from him. Piazza couldn't lay off of it. And For Stottlemyre, that is strikeout number 7.
Robin Ventura.
Well, after throwing Piazza a number of fastballs up in the strike zone, pulls the string on it, and that's that breaking ball right there. Down and away from Mike Piazza. Right-handers are not going to hit that pitch. You may as well lay off of it, but it looks so good coming in. Stottlemyre's got real good downward movement with his breaking ball.
Robin Ventura swings and misses, and you just saw what Rod was talking about right there with that swing and a miss. Stottlemyre got ahead of Ventura on a no-ball, 2-strike count his first time up, but Ventura coaxed a walk out of him. There are the numbers on Stott tonight. Breaking pitch at the feet of Ventura. It's a ball and a strike. Tomorrow it's Omar Dahl and Mike Hampton. We originally thought Glennon Rush was going to pitch, but Hampton's been moved up to tomorrow, and Rick Reed will oppose Randy Johnson now on Sunday. So Rush is out of this series. There's a strike on the outside corner. Stottlemyre jumps ahead here, 1-2.
Well, when you've got a guy on your staff like Mike Hampton, the way that he competes, you're going to give him the ball every 5th day, just like the Diamondbacks do for Randy Johnson.
Into the dirt and low to Ventura. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
There's the big unit, Randy Johnson, sitting by Matt Manti. Talked to Manti today. Said he feels great.
Well, tomorrow's supposed to be the deciding day. He can be activated. I think the Diamondbacks will activate him tomorrow. So they'll have to make a roster move to make room.
A couple of players right there that are truly blessed with fastballs in the high 90s. One from the left side, one from the right side. One stands about 6'10", the other about 6'1".
Not too often do you find 3 guys on your staff who can strike out people when they need to. And you're looking at 2 there. The other one we're talking about is Byung-Hyun Kim, who got the job done last night in Montreal. Here's a line drive base hit by Ventura on a 2-2 count into right field. So Ventura gets the Mets' 3rd hit of the night.
Number 9, Todd Z.
He's on base with 1 out here in the 4th inning.
You know, Robin Ventura is a very good player, but I think, you know, this entire Mets team, Greg, you talked about what's missing. I mean, of course, Ricky Henderson's gone and all the controversy, but, you know, Roger Cedeno is also now gone, traded to Houston in that Hampton deal. But, you know, I think the biggest subtraction is John Olerud.
Yeah. There's a fly ball into right center. That's going to get down, split the outfielders. And Ventura is going to be held up at 3rd. The throw into second's not in time. Watching Cookie Rojas. He was thinking about sending Ventura. We got a good read on that pitch, but he held him up at 3rd, and Zeal with a double, 2nd and 3rd for the Mets here with only 1 man out.
Well, the last thing Cookie Rojas wanted to do was gamble in this situation. Here's Zeal, gets a fastball up and in, just tries to stay inside the ball. It's a fat part of the bat on the ball, and he hits the ball on the line. The only reason why Travis Lee not able to catch it, and Ventura does not have a lot of speed, and, you know, Cookie Rojas, you know, thinks better than sending him home and risk being thrown out. He'll take the 2nd and 3rd with Mark Johnson at the plate.
Johnson, a strikeout victim his first time up. Stott could use a strikeout right here. 2nd and 3rd. 1 man out. And ground ball to 2nd. That'll score a run. Wells got it. Straightens up and throws to 1st. Ventura crosses the plate. Zeal goes to 3rd. And now it's a 2-1 ball game.
Shortstop.
So Mark Johnson with an RBI on the ground ball to 2nd.
And that's called taking what the defense gives you. Diamondbacks conceding the run right there. Defense playing back, and Johnson just a little ground ball and able to get an RBI out of it. Back to what we were talking about in John Olerud. Anytime you take a guy out of your lineup that, you know, walks 100 times, scores 100 runs, and drives in 100 and hits 300, you are going to miss him.
And now he's up doing his thing in Seattle.
His on-base percentage was something like, you know, over 400, which is incredible. It gave, you know, guys like Ventura a lot of opportunities to drive in runs.
Where Ordonez hasn't done a thing with runners in scoring position this year, as you saw by that graphic. 0 for 19. That's with 2 outs, and he's got a runner at 3rd. Trying to snap that streak. Stottlemyre trying to preserve a 1-run lead here. And that pitch is low. And the count on Ordonez goes to 2-1. Bobby Jones, the pitcher, on deck.
Well, that's the main reason why Stottlemyre is not going to go right after Ordonez in this situation. If he walks him, it's really no problem.
Swing and a miss changed up on him there. Now it's 2-2.
A pretty good breaking ball right there by Stott. Dropped down to in between a sidearm angle and a 3/4 angle and snapped off a pretty good breaking ball to Ordonez.
Stottlemyre ready. The 2-2 pitch. And Ordonez just got a piece of it to stay alive.
But it's also a situation, Greg, right here, because Ordonez has struggled so much this season, coming in hitting only 183. If he can get him out, and he's got the pitcher leading off next inning, opposed to putting him on because he's got the open base of 2 outs to get to the pitcher, then you've got the leadoff hitter leading off in the 5th inning.
That's Zeal at third. He had a double this inning. And he's there with 2 men out. And outside to Ordonez, 3-2 now. Ray Ordonez. 8-hitter for Bobby Valentine. Stottlemyre struck out 7. Base hit, run is in, and Ordonez gets that big 2-out hit. And the game is tied. Got it by the diving Lenny Harris at third, and Zeal scores.
The pitcher, number 28, Bobby Jones.
Well, the Diamondbacks don't get Ordonez.
Well, a 3-2 pitch right here. Stottlemyre decided to go after him. The breaking ball that flattens out, stays up in the strike zone, and nice effort right there by Lenny Harris, but the damage already done.
So Zeal scores a tying run of the game. And now Jones will bat. But now in a tie game. Swing and a miss, strike 1. And now you can think back to that at bat. You know, maybe you pitch around Ordonez anyway, but he was able to line one down the line. He was 0 for 19, so you take your chances with him, and he finally gets that big 2-out hit.
You know, I think what happened there was Stottlemyre dropped down to that sidearm angle, and he doesn't have that good pinpoint control when he drops down to that angle. And the breaking ball just flattened out on him. He left it up, and Ordonez is able to get the base hit.
And he makes it a very easy strikeout of Bobby Jones with the damage done. There were 3 hits in the inning, a man left, and now we've got a tie game here at Shea. Well, what's on tap brought to you by Miller Lite. The Diamondbacks home for 10 ball games starting on May 23rd. That's next Tuesday night, all the way through June 1st. 888-334-8323. And don't forget the Schools Out for Summer special. That'll run the 25th through the 28th. And that simply is kindergarten through 12th graders. 2 will get in with the 1 adult mission price. So that's coming up on the next homestand. Diamondbacks will play 3 with the Pirates, 3 with the Brewers, and then 4 with the Cardinals before they head back out on the road. So nice long homestand coming up for the Diamondbacks. Stottlemyre lead things off now in this 2-2 ball game as we move to the 5th. Greg Schulte with Rod Allen on hand here at Shea Stadium in New York. And Stottlemyre swung and missed, strike 1. Stottlemyre had a hit in the 2nd inning that knocked in 2. Scored Lee and Miller, who pulled off a double steal to get into scoring position. I'm sure the Mets have been pleased with what they've seen of Bobby Jones here, Rod, just off of a disabled list stint. He has struck out 2, walked 3, and given up only 4 hits in the 4 innings of work. They're going to need him before it's all said and done if they're going to contend.
You're right, and I would agree with you. I mean, he's a guy that's not overpowering, really relies on finesse and keeping the ball down in the strike zone, although I think purposely he's throwing a lot of fastballs up in the strike zone to let the Diamondbacks hit the ball as far as they can to the outfield because the wind is blowing in.
Mark Johnson can't get it. It's by him, and Stottlemyre will get to second base with a double. Mark Johnson started his career as a first baseman, has played some outfield, and you could really see the wind take that ball down as he went for it on the line.
Well, Stottlemyre, again, pretty good swing, keeps his head down. Let's go of the bat with one hand. The ball has a little slice to it and slicing away from the diving Johnson, and that's one of the reasons why he can't get to that ball. Anytime you see the ball come off the bat of a left-hander and it goes right down the left field line, it's always got a little slicing action to it.
So a leadoff double for Stottlemyre, his first two-base hit of the season. The bat boy started to run the jacket out there, and Stott put up his hand and said, nah, I'm warm enough out here. I've been pitching. I've been keeping myself warm. I don't need it.
Well, you're not surprised. Stottlemyre is quite the competitor out there.
The Diamondbacks, who were just caught by the Mets, now trying to recapture the lead here. Womack bunts behind the plate, strike one.
You know, Womack feels a little bit more comfortable bunting for the base hit opposed to just your traditional sacrifice. Although probably the sacrifice on. But the one thing Tony needs to realize here is that, you know, no need in trying to make that bunt perfect, because you know that the pitcher's on second base and Stottlemyre is not blessed with a lot of speed. Just get the ball down on the ground where you need to get it, and Stottlemyre will get to third.
Tony doesn't have a sacrifice bunt yet this season. And he took a strike. Shortened the bunt. Thought the pitch was going to go too far inside on him, so he pulled it back. But the home plate umpire, Ron Colfa, said it caught the corner, and that's strike two. Womack extended his hitting streak to 15 games with a first inning single. Stottlemyre with a leadoff double. Now Womack will try and hit the ball to the right side to at least get that runner over to third base here with less than two out. You see the defensive alignment for the Mets.
It really takes a special kind of player to do that, Greg, especially with two strikes. A lot of managers, once, you know, the hitter has gotten two strikes on him, they go ahead and let that guy basically have his at-bat. If he's able to do the job, fine. But if not, really don't hold it against him.
Tony slices one out of play here at Shea Stadium. Crowd held down because of the weather here tonight. And they're bundled up. As well they should be.
Well, Jones has thrown 75 pitches in the game, and, you know, making his first start since coming off the disabled list, you'd think that he wouldn't go more than 90 tonight.
No activity in the Mets bullpen as we speak, however. Womack jumps away from a pitch, 1-2. This guy was an all-star a few years ago when he won 15 games for the Mets. He's had some injury problems, however, the last couple of seasons. The pitch to Womack, and a little pop fly to short. The bat went to the Mets dugout, and the ball went to Ordonez, and there's one away.
Second baseman, number 33, Jay Bell.
So Womack pops up to short. Stottlemyre still at second. There's what's left of that bat.
Well, cut fastball. This ball just ran in on Tony, and it's a little pop fly to left side of the infield. And Tony takes a look over his shoulder to make sure no one got hurt by the bat head flying over toward first base.
Bell swings and fouls one out of play. When you shatter a bat like that and pitch running inside on you on a cold night like this, how much does that sting?
You know, I don't think that one hurts as much as the one off the end of the bat. Of course, what happens when you get jammed like that, you get the bone bruises right inside your thumb area there that hurt for weeks.
Yeah, those things can last for a long time. Into the dirt to Jay Bell. 1 ball, 1 strike.
But when you hit it off the end of the bat, you usually get that stinging sensation. Those bees, they last for an at-bat or so, but they usually go away.
Bell's been on base twice tonight with a walk and a single. He's got Stottlemyre in scoring position here with one man out of the inning to the tie game. And a line drive, base hit left center. Stottlemyre will be held up at third. He had to make sure that that ball got over the head of Ordonez, which it just barely did. Bell's got his second hit of the night.
You know, that's exactly what Stottlemyre had to do. I mean, that's something the Diamondback base runners do very, very well. When that ball is hit high level, Butterfield teaches them to get back, and this ball is about eye level. Stottlemyre goes back, Ordonez jumps up, and once the ball gets past him, and then he's able to get over to third base. The last thing you want to happen in a situation like that when you're already in scoring position as Nunnally comes in to get that ball is that you get doubled off. You're already in scoring position. Go ahead, get to third base, and then you let a guy like Gonzalez do his job.
And the advantage, of course, of being at second with 2 men out, not getting picked off, you're going to run as soon as that ball's hit anyway, so chances are you're going to score. So Stott did the right thing. He's at third. Bell's on for the 3rd straight time with 2 hits and a walk tonight. And now Gonzo at the plate, and he's twice been solved by Jones with a pop-up to right and a pop-up to short. Mets play their infield back looking for 2. Jones steps off. So a double by Stottlemyre this inning and a single by Bell. 1 man out. Gonzo, who's knocked in 26, will try and give the Diamondbacks a lead back. And now Gonzo will step out of the batter's box as Jones takes too much time. Gonzo takes strike 1. Now the Mets are going to get their bullpen active. They've got a left-hander out there, and that's Rich Rodriguez. He's been around with a lot of different teams over his career.
He's left-handed.
Yeah. He's with the Giants a year ago. Jones ready. And he steps on. Diamondbacks got 2 in the 2nd inning on a 2-run single by Stottlemyre. Mets came back, tied it with a 2-run 4th. And now Gonzo hits a fly ball to pretty deep center. Nunnally gonna make the catch. Stottlemyre tags. There's the catch. Here comes the throw to the plate, and Stottlemyre just makes it in. That was bang bang at the plate on a pretty strong throw by Nunnally. Bell tagged and went to second. It's a sacrifice fly for Gonzalez. The Diamondbacks have the lead back 3-2.
Nice job by Gonzalez getting something that up in the strike zone that he can hit into the outfield, but you like to see Stottlemyre slide on that play. You see Nunnally getting behind that ball, which allows him to get the maximum amount on his throw, and a very close play at home plate. For Durazo, the on-deck hitter, got to be telling Stottlemyre exactly what he wants him to do, whether he wants him to slide to the left or slide to the right or to stay up. It didn't appear that Rubio was really telling Stottlemyre anything in that situation.
And Stott just got in ahead of a sweep tank by Piazza, but it's a run. 3-2 Diamondbacks. And now Durazo with a 2-out hit could plate Jay Bell. So Bell got himself into scoring position with a chance to score here in 2 outs. And you see what Durazo's done. Not a lot. 3 RBIs, but 2 hits. They appeal down at third, saying Stottlemyre had left too early, and that appeal is denied.
Well, basically, Jay Bell tagged up from first base. What he wanted was he wanted the first baseman, Todd Zeal, to cut that ball off and throw to second base and try to get him out and not attempt to get Stottlemyre scoring.
Durazo's 0 for 2 in the ball game with a strikeout and a flyout. And the pitch is low and inside, ball 1. I was watching Durazo before the ball game, and he had that ski mask on. He's bundled up. He's since taken that mask off, but it's still a cold night for Ruby and the rest of us here at Shea Stadium.
Getting ready to say,
look at that.
What's on top of that cap?
Air ground ball to third. Ventura's got it. He's going to get Jay Bell coming to third. The inning will be over. Strange looking play, but it worked. Diamondbacks take the lead back. They're on top of the Mets 3-2. Diamondbacks up a run as we go to the bottom of the 5th, and Todd Stottlemyre around with 8 strikeouts in the game.
Well, Stottlemyre locating his pitches very well. Fastball down in the strike zone. Another fastball right here catches Derek Bell looking. Mixing pitches up well, elevates the fastball to Stottlemyre, to Piazza. Then a good split finger right there. Then a attempted bunt right there by the pitcher. And then it comes back another breaking ball to Mike Piazza. He's got them all working. Fastballs, sliders, And the key for him, he's able to get ahead of just about every hitter in the game tonight.
And he's already reached his last game strikeout total of 8, which is his high as a Diamondback pitcher. Nunnally takes ball 1 here. Top of the order for the Mets here in the 5th. Now down a run and a pop-up. And let's see how they play this one. Womack in shallow left makes the catch. Tony had to make a quick look to Lenny Harris, make sure they weren't going to get together on a collision there. And Harris had backed off, so Womack takes it on number 1 here in the 5th.
You get a look at Tony. He's calling the ball, but he really does not know. How about those eyes right there? He wants to make sure that Lenny Harris is nowhere around. You know, Tony Womack stands about 5'9", 160 pounds, and Lenny Harris about 200. He doesn't want the big guy running into him.
Saw Tony on that shot right there again. Look back up into the lights, which are very high here at Shea Stadium. This is a very high stadium. Seating goes very high here, and the lights are up on top. So maybe that ball got into those lights here and caused a little problem. Strike 1 to Derek Bell. Well, Stottlemyre, I'm sure, is enjoying the strikeouts, but he likes those 1-pitch outs. And he just got Nunnally on 1 pitch to start the 5th. Ball 1 strike to Derek Bell. Stottlemyre trying to become the Major League's first 8-game winner here tonight. Into shallow right. Lee, a long run in. He won't get it. It's a hit. And Derek Bell has his first hit of the night. He's on for the 2nd time. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Arizona Diamondbacks may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Arizona Diamondbacks and Fox Sports Net.
You know, Derek Bell couldn't have walked up to home plate with a ball in his hand and thrown it down the right field line and placed it any better than that last single. Ruby running over his shoulder, but no play for him. He doesn't get close to it. And Travis Lee playing a little deep in right field, respecting the power of a Derek Bell, even though the wind is not allowing anything to carry out that way.
So Bell with a hit. Now Alfonso at the plate. Stottlemyre step off and throw to first. Alfonso was up with the bases loaded in the 3rd inning. And he had a shot at right at Womack, who turned it into a 6-3 double play.
Well, Derek Bell, excuse me, Greg, the one guy that will run on this team. He's got 5 steals. He's been caught 3 times.
Another throw to first. The runner gets back. Oh, we just left Montreal and saw a pretty good second baseman in Jose Vidro. And this guy here in New York, Edgardo Alfonso, has turned himself into quite a baseball player. He's a good second baseman in the league. Jay Bell for the Diamondbacks, Biggio in Houston, Mookie Reese, Cincinnati. Just go up and down the ladder. This guy here, Edgardo Alfonso, and the Diamondbacks, Jay Bell, going at it tonight, head-to-head. Fred Boone, formerly of the Braves, hit a home run against his former team tonight. Playing for San Diego now. Speaking of second baseman. Whoa, that one skips over there, and Durazo knocks it down. So Stottlemyre keeping a close eye on Derek Bell here. He represents a tying run in this 5th inning. That's got his work cut out for him here with Alfonso and Piazza, the scheduled hitters, and 1 man out. Hits are even at 6 apiece in the game. There's Piazza, who's on deck. There's a strike call. Almost looked like Bell was ready to run on that pitch, but Stottlemyre was quick to the plate.
You know what Stottlemyre is doing in this situation by throwing over to first base so many different times is he's giving himself the opportunity to turn the double play if he can get the ground ball. Alfonso has hit into 6 this season.
Bell has stolen 5 bases, been caught 3 times. He'll draw another throw and get back. Had some good years in Houston and then dealt to the Mets this past offseason with Mike Hampton, talking about Derek Bell. And he's got a 1-out single here in the 5th. Booze say the fans. They're cold. They want to keep this game going.
As a matter of fact, Alfonso's grounded into 7 double plays. Grounded into 1 back in the 3rd inning. 6 unassisted. Back to Durazo by Tony Womack.
Into right field. Lee will get it. And that is out number 2.
Well, anything up in the air tonight, you're just going to get your feelings hurt.
Yeah.
I don't care how much power you got.
And some guys are stubborn enough to try and hit it out, aren't they?
Well, I mean, Stottlemyre and also Bobby Jones doing a very good job of just challenging hitters. I mean, they're playing the element.
Yeah.
They're throwing some fastballs up in the strike zone. They're not crazy. I mean, they're not throwing all fastballs. They're throwing some breaking balls, mixing it up. But when they need to get it out, they'll go ahead and elevate the fastball right around the belt buckle and say, okay, here it is, hit it.
Here's Piazza, who twice has struck out in this game. Safe to say on a night like this, it's probably a little bit easier being a pitcher than a hitter.
I think so, because the pitcher, for the most part, he knows exactly where he wants to throw the baseball. And, you know, the hitters, they're a little cold. Their hands are a little cold. But at the same time, they've got to go out and get the job done.
Piazza struck out twice in this game, once in the 1st, once in the 4th. So Stottlemyre has had his way with the Mets cleanup hitter, but this is a different at bat. Bell now at first with 2 men out. Well, I think Piazza just had his way into the corner, and it's gone.
That is the only place that a ball was going to carry out of the ballpark tonight. Down the left field line. It's the only place where the wind is not holding anything up, and Piazza, such a special player. I mean, truly talented. And how far did it fly? America West Airlines. Piazza gets a fastball inside and 365.
I just made mention of the fact that Stottlemyre had his way with Piazza, but that particular at bat, it was Piazza having his way with Stott. And the Mets, for the first time tonight, have a lead.
Well, what happened right there is that Stottlemyre did not make Piazza hit the ball to the big part of the ballpark. We talked about how difficult it is to hit a ball out the center and also to right because the wind is blowing straight in. But he got a pitch in the middle in, and he's able to drive that ball right down the left field line.
So it takes care of Ventura, and that's it. But a single by Bell and a 2-out homer by Piazza. And the Mets have jumped on top for the first time tonight. Piazza right down the line. His 11th of the year, 30 RBIs, and the Mets lead the Diamondbacks 4-3. Well, it's the 6th inning, so it's time for a bank one home run jackpot inning. And when a Diamondbacks player hits one out, Joan Horner of Phoenix will win $4,500 of mutual fund shares, courtesy of the One Group, Bank One's mutual fund family. And it'll be Finley, Lee, and Miller against Bobby Jones. Here in the 6th, Diamondbacks now down a run, 4-3. And there's the strike to Finley, who was 0 for 2 in the game. Finley's hit in 13 consecutive games, but not tonight so far. Jones has given up 6 hits. Breaking ball is lined foul into the seats.
Talked about Jones making his first start since going on the disabled list on April 17th, but he did have a couple of rehab starts with Norfolk. Pitched against Syracuse on the 7th of May and also against Buffalo on the 12th. Pitched 7 innings, 1 outing, and then 6 2/3. So he has pitched a little bit last couple of weeks.
Finley takes one outside. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Matt Williams update. Matt had a double last night. Left after that at bat with a leg cramp. He was supposed to DH tonight, getting his 5 at bats, 4 or 5 at bats, and continue on. So that's the update on Matt Williams. Swing and a miss by Finley. He strikes out for the 2nd time of the game. That's the 3rd of the night for Bobby Jones. 1 down, the Diamondbacks 6.
Number 16, Travis Lee.
Well, it's a fastball right down the middle, and, you know, Finley may have swung a little harder at that last pitch than he has in the past, and that's the reason why he came up empty. But you can't argue with what Steve Finley has done, you know, to start out the 2000 season.
Travis Lee fouls one back and out of play. Travis is 1 for 1 tonight with a walk and 2 steals. There's a line on Bobby Jones' right.
Had a pretty good line. 3 base on balls, 3 strikeouts, giving up 3 earned runs, only 6 hits. You're talking about a pretty potent Diamondback offense.
Diamondbacks got their bats going again last night after being pretty much silenced for 3 consecutive games. Last one in San Diego and the first 2 in Montreal. Lee, a big hard swing and a miss, and that's strike 2.
Well, they faced 3 pretty good young pitchers. Started out in San Diego with Meadows. You get a look at Travis Lee's line for the night and also his season average. And then Vasquez, that first game in Montreal was just outstanding, and Carl Pavano pitched well against the Diamondbacks as well.
0-2 on Lee. Piazza sets up outside. And Jones hit the target, but off the plate. Lee didn't chase it. 1-2. Day game here tomorrow. Diamondbacks and Mets, Dahl and Hampton. Breaking ball, and Travis was able to stay back with it and just get enough to keep himself at the plate.
That last pitch, 67 miles per hour. Very, very difficult to stay back on a breaking ball coming that slow. But Jones has been very good at that tonight, changing speeds with his fastball, topping out right around 85, and he also throw you a little BP fastball at about 80, and also the breaking ball has been pretty good.
He just missed off the inside corner there to Lee. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You know, Jones is what you call a pitcher. He's not going to overpower you in any way. He's going to mix it up, in and out, elevate the fastball every now and then.
It's foul down the first base side. And he keeps Lee at the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Diamondbacks start the night with the second best record in all of baseball. Atlanta went into the night 28-12. Rays are in a tie game with the Padres right now. The Diamondbacks started the night 27-13. Lee fouls another one back. And the Diamondbacks and the Boston Red Sox have the most road wins of teams in baseball, each having a 13-8 record. I'll tell you what, if you would have told the Diamondbacks through 40 games of the year, Rod, they'd be 27-13 with a 5-game lead on May 19th. They'd have taken that. With the injury to Matt Williams and Matt Manti being out almost the entire season to date.
Well, first of all, someone would have probably tried to have you committed,
right,
first of all, into some kind of hospital.
3-2. Here's a pitch, and Lee hits a fly ball foul that will get into the seats here.
You know, but the makeup of the Diamondback team is such that they can get by without Matt Williams or Matt Manti for 35 to 40 games. They can't do it for an entire season. They've definitely got some guys that can get the job done. Steve Finley's had a tremendous, month and a half, and Gonzo's had spurts. Of course, Jay Bell has picked up right where he left off a year ago.
Piazza back. Has he got a play on this one? No, almost. Not quite.
They've also got Durazo for an entire season. And how about the emergence of young Kim in the Diamondback bullpen?
How about her going after that ball? They're thinking better about it. Geez, you'd think she'd be cold.
You'd think. This is New York.
Yeah, that's true. 3-2 the count on Lee. With one out here in the 6th inning, Diamondbacks down a run for the first time tonight. And this one's going to stay in play on the infield. Ventura now in foul ground. And that is out number 2. Well, coming up tomorrow, the arch rivals go at it down in Tucson, Frank Sanson Field, ASU and Arizona, 7 o'clock. That'll be the time for the game. Sun Devils swept the Wildcats in their 3-game series earlier this year. Barry Butel and Jerry Kindle on the call. Here on Fox Sports Net, ASU and Arizona tomorrow night at 7. College baseball at its best. There's a strike to Damian Miller. Damian has walked, scored a run, and he's flying to left in the game. Bobby Jones has just hit the century mark on his pitch count this game. Number 101 was a floater right over the heart of the plate. And that's strike 2. You see the pitch count total.
64 strikes, 37 balls.
He's scheduled to bat 4th in the 6th inning. Mets had activity an inning ago. Miller fouls one there. Rich Rodriguez was up a little bit earlier in the game, but right now that Mets bullpen is barren down there in the right field corner. Miller catching tonight for the Diamondbacks, trying to get something going here with 2 men out. And fouls it out of play. We mentioned Omar Dahl tomorrow against Mike Hampton. Randy Johnson will face Rick Reed on Sunday. The big unit will be going for win number 8, coming off that tough luck loss in Montreal the other night. Jones got the sign he wants, and a breaking ball outside to Miller. 1-2.
Well, that breaking ball down and away from Damian Miller is not the pitch that he really wants to get him out with. This next pitch is the one that he's going to try to get him out with. And, you know, a guy like Jones, who does not possess a very good fastball that he could throw by hitters, these are the situations where he will use that fastball. When he knows the hitter with 2 strikes is waiting just a split second longer to make sure that ball's a strike, the only time he can sneak one by you.
Oh, he just missed there. 2-2.
And Damian Miller was not looking for the fastball right there. Mike Piazza doing a nice job calling the game for Bobby Jones tonight.
Miller got a piece of it, fouled it back. The count stays 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And this is where Jones wants to make it happen on this 2-2 count, because, you know, once he gets the count to 2-2 and then back to 3-2, it works back into the hitter's favor. The hitter can go ahead and look for that fastball, realizing that with a 1-run lead, the last thing that Jones wants to do is walk him.
Strike 3 called as they appealed at first, and Angel Hernandez said he went around. It's 4 for Jones. Signed down in order first time tonight. Mets bat bottom of the 6th, leading 4-3. And by Jack in the Box. Jack, the most bean batter in baseball history. New York. The Big Apple. Nighttime in Manhattan. Times Square. And the Mets on top of the Diamondbacks 4-3. Diamondbacks led 2-0. Took a 3-2 lead in the 5th, only to see Piazza get a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 5th. Don Stottlemyre back to work. He'll face Zeal, Johnson, and Ordonez. And if anybody gets on the pitcher spot, with that in mind, the Mets get their bullpen up. Bobby Jones, just back off the disabled list, has thrown over 100 pitches in his 6 innings of work. Stottlemyre starts with a strike here to Zeal. Zeal had a double to right center in that 2-run 4th inning. Cardinals, Stottlemyre and Zeal. Zeal's bounced around with a lot of teams over the past 5 years or so. And this season in New York, and around a new position, first base for him. Started out as a catcher. Joe Torre moved him to third. Now he's at first base with the Mets.
Well, after playing third base, not such a tough transition going over to the other corner.
Oh, I was going to get out of the way of that real quick. Real quick. Fortunately, it went up above us.
You don't have to do as much throwing from the first base position, but at the same time, balls get to you just as quick off the bat of the left-handed hitters.
Stottlemyre throws one into the dirt. That goes to 2-2.
You know, the main thing you want to do at the first base position, and especially on balls that are hit sharp, you want to keep the ball in front of you. Also, got to learn how to hold the runners on, especially with those big left-handed hitters that are coming to the plate.
And Zeal a check swing. He stays at the plate. Last year with Texas, Todd Zeal. And leading off the Mets 6 here. And New York up by a run. Low, ball 3. Stottlemyre has struck out 8. He has walked 2. He's given up 7 hits. And the payoff pitch to Zeal. Grounded 2 short. Womack gets a big hop. Throws low to first in time. 1 out.
Tony's starting to feel more and more comfortable with every game at the shortstop position. That time realizing that Zeal does not have a lot of speed, able to back up and get the good hop and a strong throw across the diamond to Durazo.
See the pitch count on Stottlemyre tonight at 89, 57 of those strikes. Now it's Mark Johnson at the plate, the left-handed hitter. He knocked in a run as a ground ball to second his last at bat. Strike 1. Tom will rejoin you in the 7th inning, take you the rest of the way through with Ron. And hit the bat, that's strike 2. Dominated the regular season against the Mets last year, winning 7 of 9, but the Mets won the all-important playoff series 3 games to 1. Stottlemyre giving the Diamondbacks their lone win. And there's the guy, or the culprit, as far as the Diamondbacks were concerned, Todd Pratt, playing because of an injury to Mike Piazza.
And he did a pretty good job for the Mets in that series. Games 3 and 4. Handling the pitching staff, and of course that big home run to straightaway center that ended the Diamondback season.
Johnson, you and I were seated about 3 or 4 feet to the left of where we are right now. Steve Finley got back to the wall but couldn't quite bring it home. And Pratt's home run gave the Mets a 3-1 series win over the Diamondbacks. And there was a foul by Johnson. Count stays 3-2. But a heck of a season for the Diamondbacks, who won 100 regular season games in only their 2nd year of existence. And they're off to a heck of a start here in 2000. Down tonight, however, by a run in the bottom of the 6th. To deep. It's not going to get out of here, however, because of the wind. I don't think he could probably hit that ball much further than what he did. The wind held it in. And that's out number 2. Well, coming up tonight, it's the all-new National Sports Report. Courtesy Fox Sports Net. Heat and Knicks, we talked about it, going on. Not too far from here as we speak. Pacers and Sixers. And the Stars and the Avs, all playoff action in the NBA and the NHL, plus all the baseball action. The National Sports Report tonight at 10 and 12. Grounded short. Womack a nice big hop. Throw across. Durazo picks it. That's it. Tom's back in the 7th. I'm Greg Sholey through 6 here in New York. Mets lead it 4-3.
Has made some great pitches. Fastball in the outer half of the plate, then a breaking ball down in the strike zone, and then helping himself out with a drawn in infield, driving the ball in the left field, driving in 2 runs, and also scored a run in the game tonight. But in the 5th, the one mistake that he has made, one of the best hitters in the game, Mike Piazza, driving the ball down the left field line for a 2-run homer.
And now the Mets have gone to the bullpen. They get a solid 6 innings of work out of their starter, Bobby Jones, his first start since April when he went down with a calf injury. And now they bring on the right-hander, Turk Wendell. Our Nextel direct connect to the bullpen.
See the record 2-2 with a 3.55 earned run average, and a happy birthday to Turk Wendell, his 33rd birthday today.
Pitch taken on the inside corner to Lenny Harris. He didn't like the call from home plate umpire Ron Copeland. You see the Turk, very popular with the fans here in New York. Well, this guy has been one durable pitcher through the years. Initially came up with the Braves organization, was traded to the Cubs, and he came to the major leagues as a starter, but has worked himself into one of the better setup men over the last number of years, working out of the bullpen. A couple of other changes for the Mets. Highly touted prospect Jay Payton takes over in center field with John Nunnally. Moving from center to left, Mark Johnson has been taken out of the game. Three-two pitch to Harris, a roller to Ordonez. Well, he just picks it up and throws it all in one motion, doesn't he?
Well, the one thing about Ordonez, he knows exactly how much time he has because of who hits the baseball to him. He has plenty of arm strength to get on top when he wants to, but elects to stay down that time and, just straight across the diamond to Zeal, right on the money.
Ordonez committed 4 errors all of last season. You may remember the cover of Sports Illustrated where they asked the question, the best infield ever. Ventura at third, Ordonez at second. Ordonez, pardon me, at short. Alfonso at second, and Olerud at first. Hanley Frias stepping up there to bat. You get a look at Ordonez.
Another thing Ordonez does when he fields the ball is his hands are so close together. Really, he's got his hand inside the glove when the ball gets there. Just grabs it, throws it back across the diamond.
So Hanley Frias batting for Todd Stottlemyre. To the left side, Ventura gloves and throws out Frias. 2 down in the inning. Stottlemyre allowed 7 hits, 4 runs, all earned in his 6 innings of work. We talked about he matched his season high with 8 strikeouts and walked 2. He pitched well again here tonight. The 2-run home run, Rod, by Piazza. The 2-run homer, clearly a mistake, but Piazza does that to a lot of people. I think maybe if he had one at bat that he wishes he had back, it would have been the at bat to Ordonez. Runner at third, he led by a run, 2 outs in the inning, and Ordonez gets a base hit down the third base line to tie the game.
Well, the one thing about that at bat to Ordonez, even though he did have the base open and there was 2 outs, Stottlemyre, being the competitor that he is, felt like that he could get Ordonez out and then force Bobby Jones into leading off the next half inning instead of going after Nunnally.
Well, Womack able to reach on a little number up the third base line.
the second baseman, number 33, Jay Bell.
Well, Nonia, Womack with tremendous speed. Ventura comes in and does just about everything he could possibly do to try to get Tony Womack at first base, but it's just a tough play right there.
Hey, partner. Two down, and now Jay Bell to bat it. They'll keep an eye on Womack over at first, and Wendell, a much better move to first than their starter Bobby Jones. An infield single for Womack, his second hit of the game. And another throw over, and a little bit closer that time. Wendell, quick feet on that throw over to first base.
Tom, I know you're going to find this hard to believe, but earlier in the week, Mets playing Colorado, 2 times in 1 inning. Wendell on the mound, runners on first and third, able to fake the third and pick the guy off at first. 2 times in 1 inning.
We rarely ever see that work once in a season.
5 years for that matter.
You got that right. Pitch to Bell, down and away. And I think the reason we rarely ever see it work is because the pitcher doesn't sell the throw to third base. They tip it off right away that they're going to fake to third and maybe throw to first. The only guy in recent memory besides Wendell, as it swung on and missed 1-1, who really sold the throw to third is Jack McDowell, former Cy Young Award winner with the Chicago White Sox. And he would get about 2 or 3 of those in a year.
Yeah, McDowell made it look like he was going to home. I mean, it was almost like his regular stretch and kick.
1-1 to Bell. High drive down the left field line. On the run is Nunley, and that ball is off the wall. Womack on his way to third. Here comes a throw by Ordonez. In the dirt, Piazza the pick. Tags him out at home.
Outstanding pick and tag by Mike Piazza. It does not get much better than that.
Piazza not known for his defense, but he was a man who made the play right there. So the tying run cut down. Ordonez throws, short hops, and watch this play by Piazza. On 2 knees, gathers, tags, inning over.
This National Sports Report Sports Break is brought to you by Home Depot.
Hi, everybody. For the National Sports Report, I'm Tom Murray with this sports break. Ismael Valdez struck out 4 in 7+ innings to earn his first win as a Cub as he beat the Reds 4-1. Derek Jeter has been re-examined by doctors and will be put on the DL with a strained abdominal muscle. He sat out the last 5 games. News, scores, and highlights nightly on the National Sports Report right here on Fox Sports Net.
Glove as quick as anybody, and what a tag by Piazza. One to pick that ball and then grab it with 2 hands to make sure Womack doesn't knock the ball out of his glove. Able to get the call at home plate.
Still a 4-3 Mets lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th, and the Diamondbacks go to their bullpen and bring on the hard-throwing right-hander Vicente Padilla, facing Joe McEwing, who bats to begin the bottom half of the 7th inning. Very good numbers for Padilla. And the Diamondbacks certainly a decision to make, knowing that Matt Manti can come off the disabled list as early as tomorrow. And Padilla figures to be the odd man out.
Well, the one thing about a guy like Padilla, if he is the guy that goes back down to AAA, he knows that he can pitch at this level.
He blows away McEwing on 3 straight pitches, 1 away.
You know, I think guys like Padilla and also Kim have matured quickly. Last season, you didn't know exactly what you would get out of, you know, either pitcher, although they were put in some very, very tough situations last year. But these guys are pitching at the major league level this season with a lot of confidence.
Well, Well, we know we will hear from Vicente Padilla again, and you figure for many years to come, if he stays healthy, because he will be back in a Diamondbacks uniform, if indeed, this is all just speculation, he's the guy that's sent out. Buck Showalter was telling us before the game, he said, you know, sometimes it comes down to a numbers crunch, and somebody has to be the odd man out. And unfortunately, this time around, it might be Padilla. They said the way this kid's throwing, and coupled with what you just said, he's matured so quickly. You just hate to do it right now.
Yeah, but it's tough. I mean, what do you do? It is a very, very difficult decision.
Swing and a miss by Nunnally. 2-2.
I mean, this guy, just like him, can throw the ball right down the middle of the plate and miss some at bats. I mean, this guy's got some life on his fastball. Good, sharp breaking ball. The only thing you worry about is, you know, whether he'll throw the ball over the plate consistently, and he has done that.
3-2 now on Nunnally. Derek Bell to follow. Diamondbacks trailing by a run here in the opener of this 3-game series against the Mets. Line drive hit hard into left field. Gonzalez able to make the catch. A sinking line drive in left for the second out of the inning.
Gonzalez got turned around momentarily. Looked like he was able to regroup and had a beat on it, but sort of overran it. We've seen that a lot in the game tonight with the way the wind is blowing. And that ball hit off the bat of a left-hander, always going to be slicing away from that left fielder toward the left field line.
Two down, nobody on for Derek Bell. 1 of 2 in the game. He's been aboard twice. He looks at a strike. Bell struck out in the first inning, walked in the third, singled and scored on the Piazza 2-run home run in the fifth. One and one. Diamondbacks will have the heart of the order in the 8th inning. Gonzalez, Durazo, and Finley against more than likely longtime left-handed reliever John Franco. He was up and throwing a moment ago. One and 2 to Derek Bell. And Padilla turns it loose, fouled back to the screen.
That's one thing Padilla will do. He will challenge the hitter, especially with 2 strikes. This guy's got a lot of confidence in his fastball, and he feels like if he locates it where he needs to locate it, he can throw it by the hitter, especially with 2 strikes. Another thing, a guy like Padilla does not want to get beat with his second best pitch. Fastball clearly his bread and butter.
Came right back with it again, and Bell able to foul it off into the seats first base side.
You may see him go to the breaking ball here on the next pitch. Well, sometimes on cold nights like tonight, tough to get a good grip on the breaking ball, especially if you're throwing a hard slider. Not so much a problem for guys that, you know, have a little bit slower breaking ball. They can sort of flip it up there.
Struck him out on a high fastball, and that'll end the inning. Padilla, perfect 7th with a pair of Ks. Part of the order coming up. Looking to put your sports knowledge to the test, and be sure to tune in to Sports Geniuses, the new nightly game show that'll challenge the most knowledgeable of sports fans. Sports Geniuses, hosted by Matt Vasgersian, weeknights at 6 and 11 p.m. on Fox Sports Net. Diamondbacks trailing 4-3. They'll send up 3 straight left-handed batters here in the inning against one of the all-time great relievers, second in fact on the all-time saves list, left-hander John Franco.
And John Franco has been very, very good against left-handed hitters. Lefties hitting 154 against him. He's appeared in a record 501 games in his career. Team record, excuse me.
New York Mets record. He came here in 1990. Prior to that season when he was traded for Randy Myers. Fastball outside of Luis Gonzalez, ball one. He initially came up through the Dodger organization and was traded to Cincinnati in '84, became their closer for 4 seasons, dealt to the Mets for Randy Myers in '90. And a lot of people I recall from living in Cincinnati at the time said, "You got to be kidding me. They're trading John Franco." Well, they got Randy Myers, and of course they assembled that nasty boys bullpen of 1990 that just shut down the Oakland A's in a 4-game sweep of the World Series. That nasty boy combination of Myers, the closer, Norm Charlton, Rob Dibble, the setup man.
They were nasty.
Nastiest I've ever seen on one team. I mean, all of them throwing 95 to 100. I mean, they were unhittable.
They could close the game out with the best of them.
Franco has had a marvelous career. 1-2 pitch. Fouled off by Gonzalez, and we were told before the game that Franco is throwing harder this season, and they don't know why. I talked to John a long time before the game today, and he said it's the truth. He said his fastball this year 3-4 miles per hour faster than he has thrown in the last 8-9 years. And gone swinging is Gonzalez. He still throws that screwball, that changeup, and he is nasty.
And then when he does come back with that fastball, it looks like it's about 100 miles per hour. Tremendous arm action with everything that he throws. This is a tough pitch to hit right here. This breaking ball down and away from Gonzo. Tough pitch to hit.
Pinch hitter announced for Rubiel Durazo. It'll be right-handed batting Craig Colburn. Colburn, a .429 hitter, 2 home runs and 8 runs batted in. See Colburn's career against John Franco, 0 for 6. He looks at ball one. The Greg shouldn't feel too badly. There are a lot of guys with ugly career numbers against Franco. I mean, he has 418 saves. Ground ball to short. And Ordonez down on one knee, quickly 2 away. It's a hot topic of debate here in New York, along with a lot of other topics, I might add. We've talked about some of them already in the game tonight, but who should be the closer of the Mets? Armando Benitez got the closer's job when Franco hurt his finger last year. Franco's been their closer since '90. And Benitez was unhittable for the last 2 months of last season. But this year, Benitez has been very hittable. And Franco, after a terrible start in his first 3 or 4 games, has been on top of his game ever since. They gave Benitez a 4-year contract, big money during the offseason. But many that follow this Mets club will tell you Franco ought to be getting more save opportunities.
Well, sooner or later, those types of things tend to work themselves out. If Benitez continues to struggle and the Mets lose games, no matter how much money he's getting, Bobby Valentine's going to put the guy in there that's going to get the outs when the game's on the line.
But it's clear tonight that Benitez, if they have a lead, he's going to get the ball in the 9th inning. They're not going to use Franco more than likely for 2 innings to close out a game. 2-1 the count on Finley. Diamondbacks one big swing of the bat away from tying this baby up. Finley didn't like the call. It's strike 2.
Well, Bobby Valentine brought John Franco into this game in the 8th inning, realizing with Gonzo leading off, knowing that Colburn would pinch hit for Durazo, 0 for 6 in his career against Franco, and then Steve Finley, knowing Buck Showalter would not pinch hit for either Gonzo or Finley.
And then he hits Finley on the 2-2 pitch. That one got away from Franco, and now the tying run at first base for the Diamondbacks here in the 8th inning, and Travis Lee coming up.
Well, here's the one that just gets away from Franco. Fastball in the inner half of the plate. And with 2 strikes, no doubt, Steve Finley wanting to stay in there a little bit longer than usual.
Now Lee, 1 of 2 in the game. Single to lead off the second, stole third, and scored. Walked in the 4th, fouled out to Ventura at 3rd in the 6th inning. Pitch on the way. Finley running. It's taken a strike, and a one-hop throw down to second. Not going to be in time to get Finley. 5th stolen base in 6 attempts by the Diamondbacks here tonight.
Oh, very good jump right there by Finley, with Zeal not holding him on him, taking off on the first move by John Franco. And it's really amazing that for the most part, Piazza's bounced everything that he's thrown down to second base, but yet Ordonez just continues to pick everything out of the dirt and still able to apply a tag to make the play close. What a magician with the glove.
Tying run in scoring position. It's 0-1 to Travis Lee. He had 2 big 2-out hits in the win last night over the Expos. 0-1. On the outside corner, and now Franco ahead of Lee at 0-2.
Well, this is where Travis needs to spread out. Make sure he gets something that he can handle, something he can put the bat on the ball with. Don't want to commit too soon, especially against a guy like Franco that has real good movement with just about everything that he throws up to the plate.
0-2 pitch. Struck him out on 3 straight pitches, and the inning is over. 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Mets still cling to a 1-run lead. Backs on Fox Sports Net, brought to you in part by your Arizona Dodge dealers. In a perfect world, everything would be different. And by America West Airlines, the official airline of the Arizona Diamondbacks. We're back in New York. Opening game of this 3-game weekend series, in a tight one through the first 7.5. Mets lead it 4-3. Edgardo Alfonso to begin the inning, and he fouls it off down the right field line. Vicente Padilla starts his 2nd inning of work.
Just give you an indication of how hard Padilla is throwing tonight. Alfonso looking for the first pitch fastball, and still a little tardy on it.
0-1 pitch, and it's fouled out of play, first base side. Alfonso, Piazza, then Ventura in the New York 8th inning. The Dodgers have just come up with 3 runs in the top of the 8th inning. That one lofted into left center field, a base hit, and Finley unable to cut it off. Alfonso races into second with a stand-up double.
After blowing 2 straight fastballs basically by Alfonso, Padilla elects to go to the breaking ball down and away, enough to speed the bat up of Alfonso, able to drive that ball in the left center field. This guy's such a good hitter, very good hand-eye coordination.
Alfonso, his 2nd hit. His 12th double of the year. And now it'll be Mike Piazza. Piazza, the big blow in this game in the 5th inning. His team down a run with 1 on and 2 out. Homered to left field. And there's strike 1.
Now here's the situation where you get a look at the home run right down the left field line, a fastball up in the strike zone. Here's a situation with a 1-run lead in the 8th inning. You may see Piazza just try to get Alfonso over to third base, and that's basically what he was looking at doing right there. I mean, you could tell that Piazza wasn't really that aggressive on that last fastball down the middle by Padilla. But now, no doubt, he will try to drive him in with 2 strikes.
0-2 on Piazza. Alfonso leads at second. Swing and a miss. Struck him out on 3 straight pitches, 3 straight fastballs this time.
You know, those were not normal Mike Piazza swings. As a matter of fact, only swung at 1. But you can clearly see with 2 strikes, basically Piazza just trying to hit something to the right side of the Diamondback. Excuse me, right side of the diamond. Just to get Alfonso over to third base with less than 1 out, give his team an opportunity to take a 2-run lead.
Well, they're going to intentionally walk Robin Ventura. Padilla's allowed 1 hit in an inning and a third. He has struck out 3, and this will be his first walk.
Well, the right move by Buck Showalter. He's got a base open. There's 1 out. Take the bat out of Ventura's hand. Although he's not having a great year so far, you know exactly what he's capable of doing. He's got a good track record.
They've gone to the 9th inning in Florida, where the Dodgers lead the Marlins 5-3. Todd Zeile, 1 of 3, struck out swinging in the second. He doubled to right center, scored in the 4th, and bounced out to Tony Womack at short in the 6th. See much better numbers for Zeile. 101 points better against the right-handers than the lefties.
We'll see if Padilla pitches with a purpose to Zeile, whether he keeps the ball down in the strike zone trying to get the double play ball.
First pitch fastball, strike 1.
So many times a pitcher that has the ability that Padilla has will forget all about the situation and try to strike out the next 2 hitters instead of just, you know, making 1 or 2 quality pitches, getting a ground ball to get out of the inning.
Here's the 0-1. Bouncing ball right side. Bell charges. His only play is to first. He gets he out there. Advancing on to third is Alfonso. Ventura to second. Armando Benitez getting ready for the 9th inning.
Jay Payton.
Big, hard throwing right-hander.
Boy, is he ever. And he is big. He showed up some 35 pounds heavier to spring training this year than he finished the season in October last year. 2 on, 2 out, and Jay Payton bats for the first time. Ground ball short. Womack's got it. Throw to first just in time. Payton can really run, and he just is retired at first. We go to the 9th. D-backs need a run. Don't forget, coming up tonight, the all-new National Sports Report, the nightly show that gives you a complete wrap-up of all the day's sports news. That's tonight at 10 and at midnight. Bring you up to date on all the NBA playoff and NHL playoff action. New first baseman takes over for Todd Zeile. It's Matt Franco, and now on the mound, 9 of 10 in save chances this year. Armando Benitez, the lofty ERA.
This guy is tough. Lefty's not having much success against him this year, hitting 107, and righty's not faring much better. A 208 batting average, and this guy can strike some hitters out.
Damian Miller to lead it off. First pitch swinging, pops it up into the seats. He's down a strike.
Well, no need in taking a strike when you're facing a guy like Benitez. You know that he's going to come right after you with a 1-run lead in a fastball in the mid-90s.
Benitez has been hurt by the long ball the early part of this season. He has already given up 4 home runs this year. That one bounces up there. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 pitch. Fouled out of play again on the Heat, and it's 1-2. Boy, Benitez, so big, so strong. 27-year-old native of the Dominican Republic, goes 6'4". He's listed at 229, but he's heavier than that. This guy's built like a linebacker. 1-2. And a high fly ball into left center field. Payton calls off Nunnally, one away.
Third baseman, number 29, Lenny Harris.
Now Lenny Harris. Strike called on the outside corner. Diamondbacks down a run. They had a pair of leads in the game tonight. They were in front 2-0 at the end of 3. The Mets tied the game in the bottom of the 4th. Diamondbacks then jumped on Bobby Jones for a run in the 5th for a 3-2 lead. Piazza homered in the bottom of that inning, and that's where we stand here in the 9th. Outside to Harris, 2-1.
Well, Lenny's going to get the fastball right here. The key for him is not to pull off the baseball, something Lenny's been doing with that front shoulder as of late. Stay with it, drive it right back up the middle.
Fouled off into the seats, third base side, so now 2-2 on Lenny Harris.
Easier said than done when a guy's throwing 94, 95 miles per hour and locates the baseball where he wants to.
2-2 to Harris, and Benitez delivers just under the knees. Good eye by Harris, and the count is full.
A breaking ball right there by Benitez on a 2-2 count.
A 3-2 pitch. Came with a fastball, and Harris able to fight it off out of play.
Here's a situation where Benitez, realizing that the fastball is his best pitch and may not have as much confidence in that breaking ball and throwing it in a 3-2 situation as he did on the 2-2 count.
Ground ball back up through the middle, cut off by Alfonso, and the throw is not in time. Infield hit by Lenny Harris, and he's aboard, representing the tying run in the 9th. That little juggle by Alfonso enabled Harris to beat it out.
Well, pretty good at bat by Lenny, staying with the fastball, driving it right back up the middle. Very surprised that Alfonso was even able to get to this ball, but you're right. When he had to juggle that ball in his glove and didn't get it out cleanly, that allowed the diving Lenny Harris to slide in safely.
Well, you can run off Benitez. Let's see if Harris, who has 3 steals on the year, gets started. Former Met Bernard Gilkey fouls it back out of play.
Bernard only 2 at-bats against Benitez in his career. 0 for 2. 1 base on ball.
Harris a tying run at first base with 1 away in the 9th, and Benitez turns it loose. Breaking ball that time, missed inside and low to even the count.
Well, the first pitch fastball that he threw to Gilkey was all over it. Mike Piazza deciding we better put a wrinkle in something to this guy. He looks like he's ready to hit your fastball.
Of course, the Diamondbacks acquired Bernard Gilkey from the New York Mets. One ball and 1 strike. A glance of Harris at first, and a foul ball back to the screen. He was right on that pitch as well, but a foul ball and a strike nonetheless, and Bernard behind 1-2. Benitez checks a runner in the pitch. Just off the outside corner. 2-2 to Gilkey.
Don't know how Bernard was able to lay off that last fastball, but he was able to. Probably because he couldn't hit it. I mean, that's a tough pitch to hit.
Here's a 2-2 on the way. Runner goes, throw down to second base, and Harris is in there safely. Ordonez backing up the throw, which again was in the dirt. And Harris, his fourth steal of the season, and he's in scoring position.
Well, Piazza having a terrible time of throwing the ball down to second base in tonight's game. Real good jump by Lenny Harris. Benitez had forgotten all about him at first base, and then he able to steal that base rather easily. A nice play backing up by Ordonez.
6th stolen base of the game for the Diamondbacks in 7 attempts. 3-2. Strike 3. And Gilkey knew it.
The shortstop, number 5, Tony Womack.
Just a great pitch by Benitez at the knees on the outside part of the plate on the black. That one had some hair on it, about 95 miles per hour. That's a tough pitch to hit right there.
So now it's down to Tony Womack with a tying run at second here in the 9th inning. And a pitch on the way is outside for ball 1.
You know, Tony Womack, the kind of guy that can give a pitcher like Benitez problems. Really doesn't matter how hard he throws. All Tony's looking to do is put bat on the ball.
Which he does foul and out of play here to even the count of the ball a strike.
Not looking at taking a big swing, trying to drive the ball in the gap. He'll allow Benitez to supply all the power.
Get a look at the New York Mets outfield, shading Womack to hit the ball the other way. We've seen him pull the ball with a great deal of authority here during the hitting streak. And there goes Harris, and he just walks into third base. Benitez never gave him a look. The 7th stolen base of the game by the Diamondbacks.
Good walking lead right here by Lenny. As a matter of fact, a running lead. He's about 10 steps from third base before Benitez even delivered the ball to home.
2-1 pitch, and it's on the outside corner, a called strike. So now the crowd on a cold night here at Shea Stadium comes to its feet. The tying run at third base with 2 away here in the 9th, and it's 2-2 to Womack. Full count. Mets 4, Diamondbacks 3. Harris at third, 2 away in the 9th inning, and it's 3-2 on Womack. And Benitez, a pause and a pitch, fouled away. Benitez has come with back-to-back fastballs at 97 and 96 miles per hour.
Well, just trying to blow Tony Womack away.
Again to Womack. Struck him out, and the game is over. The Diamondbacks lead the tying run at third. And they have lost for the 3rd time in the last 4 games. Our General Motors player of the game, Mike Piazza, his 2-run home run in the 5th inning gave the Mets a 1-run lead. Jones, Wendell, Franco, and Benitez able to nail it down. Our final 4-3. We'll be back in a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the final totals for tonight's game. For the Mets, 4 runs.
Final score here at Shea. The Mets win it 4-3. Each team with 8 hits, each team with 1 error. Todd Stottlemyre losing for just a second time this season, and Bobby Jones earning his first win. Armando Benitez his 10th save. Our upcoming television schedule brought to you by La Quinta Inns. Right here on Fox, we'll have 2 of the Pirate games for you on the 23rd and the 24th at Bank One Ballpark, then the 26th against the Brewers. The next 2 games of this series will be on the Diamondbacks television network. Our key play of the ball game. Down a run, then this.
Jay Bell doubling down the left field line, but Nunnally over there gets the ball to Ordonez. He turns it over to Piazza. Outstanding play by Piazza to get a speedy runner in Tony Womack. Tremendous play right there all the way around by the New York Mets defense.
Well, and the Diamondbacks aggressive base running here tonight. They set a team record, stealing 7 bases, but they fall 1 run short. We'll be back to wrap it up in a moment.